Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals on CBS. It's been a busy week for that man. Third-year Raiders head coach Tom Cable making his quarterback change from last Sunday a permanent change with an announcement on Wednesday. More on that in a moment. His 48-year-old counterpart, Ken Whisenhunt, last Sunday's 41-7 defeat in Atlanta notwithstanding, a remarkable 3+ year run here at the helm of the Arizona Cardinals. Great to be with you from University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona, for the home opener of the 2010 Arizona Cardinals. Spiro Dedes, Randy Cross, our entire CBS crew with you. Oakland winning the toss, electing to defer, and Arizona, Randy, will receive to start this game.
Perfect for Arizona. They need some confidence on the offensive side and get it right away.
Sebastian Janikowski on to kick it away. Jason Wright and LaRod Stevens howling to return. And here is Stevens howling. Had a very busy day last week, and he picks up where he left off. Inside Oakland territory, down the sideline he goes. 10-5, touchdown Arizona. 102 yards to start this Week 3 battle.
Wow, you couldn't ask for a better execution of that return. Watch Stevens howling come right up the middle, right behind that wedge, and pops through. Once he pops through, it's only Janikowski. Janikowski has no chance. That was such a good job of blocking and excellent running.
Point after by Jay Feely is through, and boy, couldn't have written a better script for your home opener. The Arizona Cardinals, a 102-yard kick return by LaRod Stevens howling to take a 7-0 lead. Stevens howling, the second-year man from Pitt, a 7th-round draft choice in the 2009 NFL Draft. Was their best special teams player, Randy, last season. And I think he has taken that torch here into 2010.
Oh, absolutely. And this is the kind of thing, too, that the Cardinals didn't have at any time last week against Atlanta. And that's a little upbeat, a little bump up, a little enthusiastic surge. Last week, Atlanta really took it to them. They frustrated them on offense, and defensively, they dismantled the Cardinals.
And we should point out, Randy, Stevens howling last weekend in Atlanta had a 98-yard punt return negated in the first quarter of that game. What a 2-week run it has been for that second-year man, LaRod Stevens howling, getting a congratulatory word there from Tim Hightower. And Arizona with a 7-0 lead. Just 14 seconds off the clock. Jay Feely will stay on for the ensuing kickoff here. Jacoby Ford back deep to return for Oakland, the rookie out of Clemson, drafted in the 4th round by the Raiders back in April.
Yeah, Jacoby Ford has got all kinds of speed, though. He gets a crack, he will be gone.
It's a low line drive kick fielded by one of the hands players up front. It's Rock Cartwright, the second, make it 3rd-string running back for Oakland, so the Raiders will have very good field position to start after Cartwright takes it back 25 yards. Well, here is Bruce Gradkowski, the 5th-year man from Toledo, came on in the second half last Sunday to lead the Raiders to the come-from-behind win. Has been an NFL starter full-time just one other time in his NFL career, and that as a rookie with Tampa Bay back in 2006. He has been their spark plug off the bench. And now Gradkowski thrust into the starting role here, Week 3 in Arizona, and his team already down 7-0. Down McFadden alone setback. Gradkowski airs it out down the field. It's incomplete. Right through the hands of Darius Hayward-Bay inside the Cardinals 20. Take a look at the starters for the Raiders offensively. The O-line plays shaky through 2 weeks. Mario Henderson at the left tackle, the 4th-year man from Florida State, will again rotate with Jared Beldier. Robert Gallery will miss a 2nd straight game with a hamstring. Backs and receivers, Darren McFadden enters today as the 2nd leading rusher in the NFL, behind only Houston's Arian Foster. Went for a $145 last Sunday against St. Louis. 2nd and 10, the Pitch is to McFadden. McFadden dogged by that hamstring injury throughout the preseason, but boy, has he looked good here through the first 2 weeks of 2010. Cardinals defensively, including 5 new starters from last season. The defensive line anchored by Darnell Dockett, two-time Pro Bowler, making his 84th consecutive regular season start. Linebacking core as the rookie in the middle, Darrell Washington, drafted in the 2nd round with some tough shoes to fill, and the departed Carlos Dansby. In the secondary, at one corner, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. A rough game at Atlanta last Sunday called for 2 different pass interference penalties. Critical 3rd and 5 early in the game. Here's Gronkowski from the shotgun. Has his man. It's Louis Murphy, catches at the 20. A marker is down back at the 27-yard line, as Murphy is forced out of bounds at the 5, they say. Matt Ware, the safety, with the touchdown-saving tackle, and it looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, offensive pass interference.
Offense number 85, blocking downfield before the pass was touched. 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Darius Hayward-Bay, that penalty was called on. Blocking downfield, also known as a pick. When you get in situations like that, when a wide receiver pops open so quick. There's Hayward-Bay in the forefront there, 85. The damage has already been done. Murphy's already been popped loose. Nice job by the side judge.
So that erases a 42-yard pass play, and so much, Randy, for taking the conservative approach with Gronkowski to ease him into things. They're going for the throat here at the start.
Well, now you're starting on 3rd down. You're going to get a look that's basically 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and all defensive backs after that. This is all blitz here.
3rd and 15, Gronkowski again from the shotgun. Steps into the pocket, he'll try to run, but nowhere near that 1st down marker, is about 9 yards short, and Oakland will punt. Let's go to New York and an update with James Brown.
Spiro and Randy, Saints looking to win it in overtime. 29-yard field goal attempt. Garrett Hartley, it's up, and it is no good. Saints missed the opportunity to win it. Atlanta has the ball. They've got a chance to win it. Back to Spiro and Randy.
JB, thanks. Some wild games around the NFL. Week 3, we'll keep you posted on all the happenings as this game goes on. This is Shane Leckler, all-pro punter on the kick. LeRod Stevens howling back deep to return. They'll signal for the fair catch. This will take an open bounce inside the 5. They'll down it just outside the 2-yard line. And that is where Arizona will take over when we come back. LeRod Stevens howling with the early fireworks in Arizona. 7-0 Cardinals. And what a matchup he is entrenched in today against Nnamdi Asomugha. 2nd down at about 5. The pass by Anderson right through the hands of his intended receiver, Steve Breaston, the 4th-year man from Michigan. Breaston dealing with a sore knee this week in practice. Raiders defensively up front. 4-time All-Pro Richard Seymour back in the mix after sitting last Sunday with a hamstring pull against St. Louis. Linebacking core features the 8th overall pick, Rolando McClain. Fresh off celebrating his 21st birthday, may be the most dynamic young linebacker in the NFL. We mentioned Nnamdi Asomugha, the 3-time Pro Bowler, lining up against Larry Fitzgerald today for the first time ever in a regular season game. You see what the Cardinals did last week on 3rd down, or didn't do. 3rd at about 5 here. It's incomplete again. Cardinals fans wanting the pass interference penalty. Stanford rout the 6th-year cornerback on the coverage of the rookie Steven Williams, and the Cardinals will punt.
That was just good defense. The only way that was going to be called defensive holding or interference was going to be if Rout did get his arm around the waist or impede the receiver, but he never did. That was his perfect body positioning, and left Anderson nowhere to throw it. The real flaw was throwing that bullet to Breaston. He couldn't handle it. You got to get a little touch on that one.
Rout had a tough first half last Sunday at home against the Rams. Pass interference penalty, but then sealed it late with a critical interception. Ben Graham's punt is returned by Johnny Lee Higgins, who's upended right after the catch at the 40-yard line. 56-yard punt from Graham. We'll take a break.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Travelers, insurance, in sync. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
Sparrowditas, Randy Cross, our entire CBS network crew from University of Phoenix Stadium here in Glendale. The home opener for the Cardinals. 7-0 lead, an opening kick return by LaRod Stevens. Howling of 102 yards has been the difference. Gronkowski hit as he throws. He finds his man anyway. It's Louis Murphy at the Cardinals' 49-yard line. And right at the first down marker, the now penalty marker comes in late. After a pickup of exactly 10 yards.
Murphy and Adrian Wilson getting into a little kick, push, shove. One of them got called for a personal foul right there.
And Randy, I wouldn't want to mess with Adrian Wilson, one of the larger, more physical guys in the NFL. Had a chance to meet with him on Friday.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 24. Head hit after the ball was incomplete. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, very nice job by Gronkowski avoiding Darnell Dockett, but Adrian Wilson, that whistle had blown. That play was dead. Love the enthusiasm. Love his work ethic, but that was just flat unnecessary. That's a good call.
Well, Wilson's got to know better than that. The three-time Pro Bowler. 3 of the last 4 seasons. Boy, these are 2 of the most penalized teams in the NFL. We showed the graphic of what the Raiders did last weekend in that loss or victory rather at home against the Rams. Here's Darren McFadden trying to get to the outside, turns the corner, and appears as to have enough for the Raiders first down inside the 25-yard line.
Nice job just creating a bend. Look at this area right here and watch.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Travelers, insurance, in sync. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
Sparrowditas, Randy Cross, our entire CBS network crew from University of Phoenix Stadium here in Glendale. The home opener for the Cardinals. 7-0 lead, an opening kick return by LaRod Stevens. Howling of 102 yards has been the difference. Gronkowski hit as he throws. He finds his man anyway. It's Louis Murphy at the Cardinals' 49-yard line. And right at the first down marker, the now penalty marker comes in late. After a pickup of exactly 10 yards.
Murphy and Adrian Wilson getting into a little kick, push, shove. One of them got called for a personal foul right there.
And Randy, I wouldn't want to mess with Adrian Wilson, one of the larger, more physical guys in the NFL. Had a chance to meet with him on Friday.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 24. Head hit after the ball was incomplete. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, very nice job by Gronkowski avoiding Darnell Dockett, but Adrian Wilson, that whistle had blown. That play was dead. Love the enthusiasm. Love his work ethic, but that was just flat unnecessary. That's a good call.
Well, Wilson's got to know better than that. The 3-time Pro Bowler. 3 of the last 4 seasons. Boy, these are 2 of the most penalized teams in the NFL. We showed the graphic of what the Raiders did last weekend in that loss or victory rather at home against the Rams. Here's Darren McFadden trying to get to the outside, turns the corner, and appears as to have enough for the Raiders first down inside the 25-yard line.
Nice job just creating a bend. Look at this area right here and watch as the Raiders offensive line just pulls and moves. Beautiful job. Look at that. I mean, you don't even get a hand on McFadden until he's 8 yards down the field. That's exactly like you draw it up. It was a nice job by Daniel Loper, the former Tennessee Titan, leading the way.
So first down for the Raiders. Down 7-0. As they spot it from the Arizona 23. Gronkowski play action. It's complete inside the 5, touchdown. And it's Phoenix native Zach Miller coming home. And has the Raiders on the verge of tying the game at 7. 22 yards, Gronkowski to Miller.
That's inexcusable. Miller lines up on the left side of your screen at tight end, middle of the field, man coverage, he and Adrian Wilson. You got to wonder if Adrian Wilson's still a little bit in his head on that personal foul, a little distracted, because otherwise you don't lose track of a tight end like Miller.
Miller, one of the most consistent pass-catching tight ends over the last 3 years. Sebastian Janikowski's point after is through, and the Raiders have drawn even at 7. Bruce Gradkowski trying to answer the question marks early in this game. A 22-yard touchdown strike to Zach Miller. We're tied at 7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Travelers, insurance, in sync. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
Spero Dedes, Randy Cross, our entire CBS Network crew from University of Phoenix Stadium here in Glendale. The home opener for the Cardinals. 7-0 lead, an opening kick return by LaRod Stevens. Howling of 102 yards has been the difference. Gradkowski hits, he throws, he finds his man anyway. It's Lewis Murphy at the Cardinals' 49-yard line. And right at the first down marker, the now penalty marker comes in late. After a pickup of exactly 10 yards.
Murphy and Adrian Wilson getting into a little kick, push, shove. One of them got called for a personal foul right there.
And Randy, I wouldn't want to mess with Adrian Wilson, one of the larger, more physical guys in the NFL. Had a chance to meet with him on Friday.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 24. Head hit after the ball was incomplete. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, very nice job by Gradkowski avoiding Darnell Dockett, but Adrian Wilson, that whistle had blown. That play was dead. Love the enthusiasm. Love his work ethic, but that was just flat unnecessary. That's a good call.
Well, Wilson's got to know better than that. The 3-time Pro Bowler. 3 of the last 4 seasons. Boy, these are 2 of the most penalized teams in the NFL. We showed the graphic of what the Raiders did last weekend in that loss or victory rather at home against the Rams. There's Darren McFadden trying to get to the outside, turns the corner, and appears to have enough for the Raiders' first down inside the 25-yard line.
Nice job just creating a bend. Look at this area right here, and watch as the Raiders' offensive line just pulls and moves. Beautiful job. Look at that. I mean, you don't even get a hand on McFadden until he's 8 yards down the field. That's exactly like you draw it up. It was a nice job by Daniel Loper, the former Tennessee Titan, leading the way.
So first down for the Raiders. Down 7-0. As they spotted from the Arizona 23. Gradkowski play action. It's complete inside the 5, touchdown. And it's Phoenix native Zach Miller coming home. And has the Raiders on the verge of tying the game at 7. 22 yards, Gradkowski to Miller.
That's inexcusable. Miller lines up on the left side of your screen at tight end, middle of the field, man coverage, he and Adrian Wilson. You got to wonder if Adrian Wilson's still a little bit in his head on that personal foul, a little distracted, because otherwise you don't lose track of a tight end like Miller.
Miller, one of the most consistent pass-catching tight ends over the last 3 years. Sebastian Janikowski's point after is through, and the Raiders have drawn even at 7. Bruce Gradkowski trying to answer the question marks early in this game. A 22-yard touchdown strike to Zach Miller. We're tied at 7.
Well, we get along. Yeah, we really do. And there's nothing wrong. What I feel for you. Hang around till the leaves are brown and the summer's gone.
When you're not worried about potential dangers, the world can be a far less threatening place. Take the scary out of life with Travelers Insurance and see the world in a different light.
Ate something loaded with fat? We got a beef with that. 25 of our Campbell's Chunky Soups give you 100% lean meat and a full serving of vegetables. It's amazing what soup can do.
You can make this stop, right?
Probably.
Sometimes probably doesn't cut it. That's why Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Sign up at Valvoline.com.
Fantasy Football Today gets you the last-minute news and analysis you need to set your fantasy league lineup. It's live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's only at CBSSports.com. Zach Miller coming back home in front of family and friends today, born in Phoenix. About a 20-minute drive from here. Very quick scoring strike. Randy, 22 yards. Gradkowski to Miller. We're tied at 7.
Early dose of Raiders here. Very typical of Bruce Gradkowski, though. That's why this move was made at quarterback. All he really does is he moves the offense and he scores points. He's not drafted as high. He's not paid as much. Goodness knows he can't carry around as big a book of press clippings, but he gets his team in the end zone.
Randy, he just looks like a guy you want to root for, as Gradkowski, I should say. Shanks one here. This is a live football picked up by LaRod Stevens-Howling. Boy, he's been all over the place early in this game. That opening kickoff to give the Cardinals the initial lead. Let's get another update in New York. And James Brown.
In a tight ball game that went to overtime, the Atlanta Falcons get it done on that 46-yard field goal in OT by Matt Bryant, defeating the defending Super Bowl champ, New Orleans Saints. Take it back to Spiro and Randy.
JB, thanks. I'm not sure anyone could have predicted that's what the standings would have looked like in the NFC South 3 weeks into the season.
Kind of like predicting that a clutch kicker like Hartley would miss one in overtime and cost him a game.
Anderson under pressure, boy, eludes the sack, fires and incomplete. Boy, had Fitzgerald at the 40, and a late marker comes in.
Illegal contact down the field, Spiro. That's that matchup you talked about, Asamoah and Fitzgerald.
Pass interference, defense number 24 from the spot of the foul, automatic. First down.
Beautiful job right there. You get that right tug. You see the left arm. Huff was identified as the one that fouled, but it was Asamoah. Trust me. He grabs that left arm of Larry Fitzgerald as he tries to go up for the ball. That's the illegal contact. That's the pass interference.
Had a chance to talk to Fitzgerald about that matchup between those two. Turns out to be a 20-yard penalty, as Hightower is dumped in the backfield, may have gotten to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, if you want to talk about this matchup, Larry Fitzgerald is serious, and so is Nnamdi Asamoah. You imagine from Asamoah's standpoint, Spiro, he spent the whole offseason and last year hearing about Darrelle Revis. Now, he's the highest paid corner in the league for the better part of the last couple of years. He's been considered the best corner in the league. I think he's out to prove to a lot of people this year, starting this week, that he's still the best corner in the league.
No gain on first down, so it's 2nd and 10. Anderson throwing off his back foot. Hightower trying to clear some space. And again, he's just able to get to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. Randy, I'll ask you point blank. Who is the best cornerback in the NFL?
Well, I've seen a lot of Nnamdi, and I think with his total package, with those long arms, with his size and his speed, for me, it would be him. I know he doesn't quite have the reputation now of Darrelle Revis. He doesn't have his own island, doesn't have his own commercials. I know one thing, if you've got a chance to get a Nnamdi Asamoah on your team, football and person off the field, every team in the league needs one of these.
Asamoah known almost just as well for his off-season preparation and his in-game prep than he is for what he's done on the field, as this pass not even close to the intended receiver, Fitzgerald.
Again, that same
4th and 9, they'll punt.
I'm sorry, Spiro. Again, that same matchup. Nnamdi Asamoah working against Fitzgerald, and sometimes your best friend can be your body. Look where he positions his body on Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald can't cut across him to the ball. He'd have to run right through him and interfere. That's knowing where they want to go and putting yourself between the receiver and that point.
This is Ben Graham on to punt it. Johnny Lee Higgins signals for the fair catch. Cardinals will down it just inside the Raiders' 5-yard line. So 7-7 early here in Arizona. Graham with the 40-yard punt. And the Raiders pin back on their own side.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by E-Trade. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Back with you from Glendale, Arizona, Week 3, an interconference matchup this afternoon. Raiders Cardinals. 7-7 is Bruce Gradkowski with his tallest task of the day early. Pinned back inside his own 5-yard line. McFadden trying to find the outside for not. Picks up a minimal gain on first down. So Bruce Gradkowski taking over just after halftime last Sunday. A move, Randy, that may or may not have come as a surprise. The biggest surprise came when Tom Cable announced Wednesday it will be a permanent change. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, let it be known to the media that it was he who approached Cable at the halftime locker room to make the switch. And here he is, Bruce Gradkowski, starting in Week 3.
The only numbers that really matter to me is Gradkowski scored 13 points. Led that offense to 13 points and was the reason they won the game last week.
Gradkowski's pass here is incomplete on 2nd and 10. I guess the reason why some, Randy, were surprised is that when they drafted for Jason Campbell, 3rd day of the NFL draft back in April, they were so adamant in saying that he was our guy. He was our guy. And then after 6 quarters to make the change, caught some people off guard.
Well, fans should always know one thing about quarterbacks or football players in general. They're your guy. You're their guy until you aren't. And it's a very, very quick process. And there's very few untouchables in this league.
If there's a guy who's earned this right, it's Bruce Gradkowski. 3rd and 10, Gradkowski from his own goal line. Hit as he released, and it's incomplete. The Raiders will have to punt. Zach Miller, the intended receiver. And now Shane Leckler standing on his own end line in the back of the end zone will punt.
Nice job by Kerry Rhodes coming in there late, forcing Gradkowski to get rid of that ball. Otherwise, I thought a commendable job by Oakland of manning up on that blitz. But Rhodes came off late and made him get rid of it.
Leckler, the 11th year NFL veteran, has had the top punting average in NFL history at a minimum of 250 career punts. This one is muffed. Rolls back to the 30. Well, it looks like Oakland recovers the football. It's John Kondo, the long snapper / linebacker, falling on the football, and Oakland is back in business.
That ball hit an Arizona Cardinal right there. It hit 22. Where? It bounces off his legs. Brown tries to bring it in, but from the second it touched Ware, it was a live ball. Nice job by Kondo recovering this. And now if you're the Raiders, you want to get McFadden back involved and you want to get down the field. Push, push, push.
And Randy, how about the punt by Leckler? 67 yards, obviously aided by the bounce. That's a tough spot, punting from the back of his own end zone.
Well, it's like a drive in golf. They do count the roll.
They'll take it. So here's Gradkowski under center. 1st and 10 from inside the Cardinals 30. Gradkowski has time. Finds Miller inside the 10. Out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Oh, what a nice little chemistry he's building up with his tight end Miller. That's one of the problems not being the starter. You don't see a lot of the receivers on a regular basis, but there seems to be a very nice little simpatico between Miller and his quarterback, and there's a nice job of finding a hole in that secondary area, right behind the linebacker and right in front of the defensive backs who are being run off in man coverage.
Miller caught the 22-yard touchdown strike from Gradkowski earlier. That one, 21 yards. So 1st and goal, Raiders from the 7. This is McFadden. Right up the gut inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Tackle made by the rookie Darrell Washington. Well, Darren McFadden, the 4th overall pick back in 2008. Randy entered this season really, for a lot of people approaching that bust status that everyone wants to avoid.
Oh, yeah.
Guy who had dealt with an assortment of injuries, toe, knee injury last season. There's some 7 games, but boy, he is healthy and has looked as good as we have seen him even back to his collegiate days at Arkansas. Second and goal, Gradkowski rolling right, feeling the chase, throws end zone, and it's incomplete.
Gradkowski got that off. If McFadden was still at Arkansas, they lost that heartbreaker yesterday to Alabama on CBS, he might have a touchdown. Is that foot in? It's only 1 in college. That's a nice job by Gradkowski, though. You usually see quarterbacks that aren't used to that situation trying to press, trying to make things happen, Spiro. And that's one of the things you get impressed with real fast with Gradkowski. He's very, very calm. The moment's not too big for him.
We were actually meeting with McFadden during that Arkansas-Alabama game. He was trying to end that meeting as quickly as he could, get out of there and watch the conclusion. As Tom Cable will call a timeout, trying to get his play call right. With 6:50 left to play in this opening quarter, game tied at 7. For the Raiders in the bottom reaches of the NFL in red zone offense through the first 2+ weeks. Have it 3rd and goal here from inside the 5. Gradkowski, end zone, incomplete. Zach Miller trying to make the lunging catch. And they'll come on with the field goal unit. Michael Adams on the coverage.
Yeah, very nice job on the backside of Gradkowski. As you see, it was just a fingertip or so long for Miller. You know, Veldheer, the rookie offensive tackle, was in that whole series. Doing a nice job there against Joey Porter, trying to alternate those left tackles. That can be a little disconcerting for a player.
It's a 22-yard field goal by the left-footed Sebastian Janikowski. Kick is up as he calmly puts it perfectly through the uprights. And the Raiders, with 10 unanswered points, take their first lead of the afternoon. Well, it's been back and forth this first quarter from Glendale, Arizona. Time right now for our much-anticipated crossword segment. Randy, take us to school.
A little something different every game we do here. Slide protection. That's basically you have a strength left or right, so you're going to slide left. And you've got 4 blockers. You got to figure out a way to get those 4 blockers on those 4 bodies. So the right guard's going to come over, work with the center. Center comes off. No one blitzes. Center's there for a little pickup. See all that time last year Kurt Warner had to throw. That's why you slide like that, is it picks up an extra blitzer, and it also gives your quarterback plenty of time and places to step up.
Slide protection, a Randy Cross special. As you see the Raiders scoring drive, 5 plays, 24 yards, capped by the 22-yard field goal by Sebastian Janikowski. So far, aside from the opening kickoff by Rod Stevens howling at 102 yards, not much to talk about on the Cardinals side, just 5 yards of total offense. And right now they're down 10-7.
This is an offense. This is a football team. This team's not about Derek Anderson, and he'd be the first one to tell you about that. This is now a running team. This has got to be a Ken Wisenhunt smash mouth. Russ Grimm is the offensive line coach. It's got a feature Hightower at running back, and then when they get Beanie Wells back on the field like right now.
This is Beanie Wells' 2010 season debut. Right arthroscopic surgery and showing the burst on first down, not past the 35 to the 43-yard line. Not looking like a guy who's been on the shelf for 3+ weeks.
Well, not if you ask Michael Huff. That's a nice just crease. Brown, the left tackle, does a good job of sealing down. Then it's wide open for Beanie Wells, and then he just runs right over Mike Huff. Michael Huff has to be safe. He has to be sure he makes the tackle, and for his effort, he has to absorb a little punishment.
Wells returned to practice Wednesday for the first time in 3 weeks. Second-year man out of Ohio State goes 24 yards on his first carry of this 2010 season.
Hightower went 80 yards last week against the Falcons.
He nearly went 80 yards untouched. Anderson audibleizing, throws down the sideline. It's incomplete, and a marker comes in. Steven Williams, the rookie from Toledo, the intended receiver, and Stanford route called for his second interference in as many weeks.
Pass interference. Defense number 26 from the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Well, the last guy shoving, I guess, got the penalty because Williams was doing as much shoving and grabbing as Route was. Route put that left arm right across Williams, and it's right there in front of the official. When he sees that arm being barred and that arm being impeded, he's got a perfect view for it.
Randy turns out to be a 28-yard pickup for the Cardinals on the route penalty. So first and 10 Cardinals from inside the Raiders' 30-yard line.
Nice matchup, bottom of the screen.
It's Gerald against Asimov. Cardinals will keep it on the ground. It's Beanie Wells still on the field for the Cardinals.
See, it's one of the differences between Hightower and Beanie, for my money, is Beanie's looking for things to happen more than Hightower. Hightower is more of a give me the ball, I am running my tail downhill. And you know, Friday, a lot of eyebrows raised around here when Beanie Wells sort of offhandedly mentioned that, oh, those stitches that look like on my leg, that's from the surgery I had a couple weeks ago, a little arthroscopic meniscus.
Well, in this day and age, with Twitter and all the instantaneous technology, it's amazing that they kept that a secret as long as they did. As Wells picks up a minimal gain on second down. It'll be 3rd and long. Wells, 22 years of age, the first-round pick in the 09 draft. Many people expected him to have a breakout season. Randy, nearly 800 rushing yards as a rookie last season before he had to deal with that knee injury.
And he still has a little bit of a hitch in his giddy-up. You can see it's not quite a limp, but now he comes out of the game. You put Hightower in for 2 reasons. Hightower is a pretty good little receiver out of the backfield, and he is also a guy that can block very well.
Well, Oakland's scrambling to get the right personnel on the field, calling for a timeout.
30-second timeout.
And that will be their second of 3 timeouts. Give Derek Anderson a chance to get the play call that they want here. Clock stopped at 4:34 to play. First quarter from Glendale. The Raiders leading the Cardinals 10-7. Oh, the new season is off to a great start. Only one network has the #1 comedy, Bleep My Dad Says, and the #1 news show, Hawaii Five-0. Only CBS. Thanks for making us America's most watched network. Spiro Ditas, Randy Cross, our entire CBS crew with you from University of Phoenix Stadium. Here in the desert, temperatures in the triple digits this weekend. Reminding us just where we are.
Oh, yes. Doesn't take long here.
Nice and comfortable inside. This place overrun with Raiders fans driving up to the stadium as they usually do on the road. Getting their tailgate on here before the game. Anderson throws, completes at the 25-yard line. It's Steve Preston able to fight his way down to inside the 24. Michael Huff makes the stop.
There's one thing this offense desperately needs, and goodness knows Derek Anderson needs, is the obvious receiver is Larry Fitzgerald, one of the best in the game, if not one of the top 2 or 3. But he needs an alternative. Preston needs to be healthy. They need other people to take the pressure off of Fitzgerald, because if you can just double him and forget everybody else, it doesn't work.
Jay Feely, the 10th-year veteran here from 42 yards out. His long so far, just 22 this season, and that one is good. So the Raiders lead brief. As Arizona able to bang it through with the longtime veteran kicker Jay Feely, and we're tied at 10. (10-10) as we welcome you back to Glendale, Arizona, Oakland, Week 3. Tom Cable pacing the Raiders sidelines, playing in front of his owner Al Davis, who is here in Arizona this weekend, still traveling with the team. Making the big change on Wednesday. There is the defensive side of the football for the Raiders, led by their coordinator, John Marshall.
That was Hall of Famer Willie Brown in the foreground there. Imagine being a defensive back, getting to work with a guy like that. He can tell you a few technique tips.
This is Jacoby Ford, a rookie from Clemson. Well, he is dangerous in the open field, a lightning fast first-year man. Getting nearly to the 40-yard line before Jason Wright drags him down. It's a return of 40 yards. Here's Al Davis leaning back in his chair.
Yeah, this football team I really sense in 2010 is a little different than it's been. There's obviously more hope for the Oakland Raiders and their fans. And I think talent-wise, Tom Cable on both sides of the ball has more talent at his disposal, especially up front on both sides of the ball than they've had in quite some time.
Cable 10 and 20 since replacing Lane Kiffin back in 2008. There's McFadden. He's just shown that consistent burst, Randy, that we did not see consistently, at least when he's been healthy. 7 yards on first down.
Darren McFadden's done a very nice job here in 2010, but I guess, Tom Cable and this football team be the first ones to tell you we drafted him for this purpose, but he's finally healthy. And he finally really is able to do it the way that he was drafted to do.
It's Darius Hayward-Bay on second down. They pick up more than enough for the first down. Inside Arizona territory to the 39-yard line.
Now, there's a young man, Hayward-Bay, that you have to feel, I guess, a little proud of if you're a coach at any level at the work he's put in since last year when he was drafted in the first round so high. Very bad rookie season, but he's put a lot of work into it.
16-yard pass play. This is Gradkowski going down the field. Incomplete. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie covering Hayward-Bay.
Wow. That's a nice job getting that ball down the field by Gradkowski, but do you get the feeling that both these guys are running at about 85%? It wasn't quite a flat-out sprint match. That goes to Cromartie's favor because Hayward-Bay's got pretty world-class speed.
Gradkowski taking chances in his first quarter. It's Marcel Reese, the fullback, on his first carry. Second-year man from Washington. Continues to start as Luke Lawton serving that 4-game suspension.
Well, if you're the Oakland Raiders, why not press? That's one thing I think offensively that Gradkowski sort of brings to this team, besides the bounce and the fire that Tom Cable was looking for when he and Hugh Jackson made this move. Gradkowski doesn't mind pressing the ball down the field. He'll fit that thing in there. He'll take the big shot.
This Raiders offense last week at home, topping 400 yards of total offense for the first time since October 2005. You're facing a 3rd and 8. Gradkowski incomplete. Rock Cartwright, the intended receiver. Paris Lennon was there. Gradkowski put it right on his hands, and it's 4th down.
And that wasn't just a dump down. That was the only alternative Gradkowski had besides eating it and losing yards. He had 3 other receivers out in running routes, but all of them were covered.
This is Sebastian Janikowski. This one will be from 53 yards out.
Little confusion. In fact, not even a little confusion, a whole lot of confusion.
The first Rock Cartwright comes on. Now he'll go off, and Zach Miller will come in. Tom Cable displeased. He'll have to burn his final timeout. That's an embarrassing moment for the Raiders. It'll be a 55-yard attempt officially.
That's inexcusable. It really is. And I'll tell you, one of the things that came out of that is Kyle Bowler, the third-team quarterback, absolutely got pancaked on the sideline in the confusion with guys trying to run on and off the field. Something like that should never happen.
All right, before Janikowski kicks, let's go back to JB in New York and an update.
Hey, Spiro, after the Rams took a 14-0 lead, Washington got a field goal, and then after a Rams turnover, they do this here. McNabb, play action, hooking up with Santana Moss, 21-yard strike, 14-10, Rams lead. Back to Spiro and Randy.
JB, thanks. The Rams, despite that loss last week, have looked impressive. Sam Bradford has put up some very respectable numbers so far over his first 3 weeks as an NFL starter. This is Janikowski from 55 yards out. His career long from 61, and this one is good.
Yeah, Sebastian Janikowski, Tom Cable knows in any building, Sebastian Janikowski, you give it a shot from 60. This is the strongest leg in my mind this league's ever seen.
On Wednesday on Survivor, Coach Jimmy Johnson is calling on reinforcements to help his older tribe win. Can they defeat the young guns? It's an all-new Survivor Wednesday, only CBS. 55-yard field goal by that man, Sebastian Janikowski, to give the Raiders a 13-10 lead. 6 plays, 25 yards in just over 2 minutes. Rod Stevens Howling had that 102-yard kick return to start this game. Gave the Cardinals a 7-0 lead, but not much has happened for the hometown team since then. This is Howling from 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Cutting left, out past the 20, and is dragged down by Cartwright at the 23-yard line. Cardinals, Randy, had third down issues last week, unable to move the football, the turnover dilemma. And now another slow start for Anderson. They did get that field goal on the last drive, slowly trying to build something offensively.
Well, the reason they had the success they had the last drive, Ken Wisenhunt was quick to point out to us on Friday, it's not about third down. It's about what you do on first and second. The good teams don't get to third down. They do so well on first and second. Their third down efficiency is almost a moot point.
Here's Anderson. Again, eluding the tackle. Trying to find Fitzgerald. It's incomplete at the 38. And again, it's Fitzgerald against Asamoah, right over the middle.
Right now, Nnamdi Asamoah and Larry Fitzgerald, you might be able to do a little private red zone showing, just charge of that, make that almost a UFC fight, the way these guys are going at it. It's some great stuff. It's just sort of the battle inside a big battle.
Arguably the two best players at their respective positions facing each other in the regular season for the first time ever. Tim Hightower, the lone setback. And 2nd and 10, Anderson from the shotgun. Anderson going deep down the field, trying to find Williams, the rookie. And for the second time today, it looks like Williams is going to draw the pass interference penalty. This time it was Walter McFadden on the coverage. McFadden, the rookie out of Auburn.
Pass interference, defense number 22. On the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
It's unusual to say you got lucky with a pass interference penalty, but here's why you got lucky. Check out Fitzgerald right here and see what he does. Nnamdi Asamoah doesn't stay with him. He's running by himself. And I know the quarterback's not looking in that direction. One of the reasons they let him go. But do you really want to do that on a regular basis? Do you want to take that chance?
That's what you call playing with fire against Nnamdi Asamoah. It's a 27-yard pickup after the interference penalty. This is Beanie Wells back on the field. And boy, as the Raiders do a nice job up front, this has never been a very, what you call, stout run defense for Oakland. Certainly not over the last 7 years. At the bottom of the NFL in rush defense. But Randy, if Arizona can get their two running backs going, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch. As you take a look at John Marshall, the Raiders defensive coordinator.
Well, when it comes to stopping the run, good defensive line that rotates and have big people. And you've got an inside linebacker like Rolando McClain, the rookie out of Alabama, 6'3", about 260, and runs like crazy. Perfect person for this defense.
This is Anderson, 2nd and long. It's complete. Jason Wright still trying to work his way back to full strength, dealing with a toe injury earlier this month. He's forced out of bounds. The Cardinals still well short of the first down after an 8-yard gain.
But Spiro, look what they just did, going from 2nd and about 11, 12, to now you're in 3rd and pretty manageable. About 4 yards, 3.5, 4 yards. That's doable. See what they've done so far on the season and so far today. 0 for 3. When you get in those long situations, Ken Wisenhunt knows that's an invitation to blitz.
Derek Anderson, the Oregon native, from a small town just outside Portland. 60-year veteran rolling out, throws across his body, and it's a first down, and more Stephen Williams makes the catch. Anderson showing some resourceful moves as they pick up 10 and move the chains.
Oh, that's a very nice job by Derek Anderson, because Williams lined up right with Fitzgerald, found a nice little hole, and Anderson found him.
End of one quarter in Glendale, Arizona. You're watching the NFL on CBS. two teams try to climb the ranks in their respective conferences, meeting here in Arizona, week 3. As we begin the second quarter, Bruce Gradkowski and the Raiders leading the Cardinals 13-10. Barry Anderson on 1st and 10. Giving to Beanie Wells. Wells trying to get to the 30. Picks up maybe a yard or two. Richard Seymour, the fourth-time All-Pro, I should say, making the stop.
A little different formation there. You almost had like a inverted wishbone slash power running. You got a tight end at one fullback position. You got a regular fullback in another position, then almost an I-back behind the quarterback was Beanie Wells, and you led into the hole with both of his blockers.
Seymour back on the field after missing last weekend's game with a hamstring injury against St. Louis. So Hightower will split out to the slot, top of your screen on 2nd and long. Pass by Emerson is caught at the 22-yard line by Weston. Tackle made by Stanford Routt. We're talking about the highly touted matchup, Fitzgerald against Asamoah. Here's some of what they've done early on.
Resulted in a penalty there. There's a little bit of Larry Fitzgerald bringing it on the block. That's one thing this guy will do. I mean, he's grown up in the game, idolizes Jerry Rice. Actually, has had Jerry Rice at some of his camps, teaching him on routes, teaching him on conditioning, some other stuff.
Says Jerry is a great teacher, not the best verbal teacher. He'd rather get on the field and show you what he's talking about. As Anderson rolls out here, 3rd and short, just trying to shuffle it to Hightower, but it's incomplete. Penalty marker is thrown at the top of the field.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 moving before the snap and didn't get set for a second. Hit plenty of decline, 4th down.
So 4th down, we'll see what Wisenhunt
I'd go for it.
elects to do here, right in that little tweener range. And it looks like Wisenhunt may go for it.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, it's not like the game's out of whack. The offense needs the confidence. You're down by 3. It's well within Feely field goal range, but you got some big, powerful linemen. A guy like Faneca, a guy like Brown on the left side. Lead back, fullback, do it.
Reagan Mauia, the fullback, lining up in front of Hightower. Hightower has the 1st down, getting to the 20. And Wisenhunt's gamble pays off. It's 1st and 10.
Not too much of a, I guess, complicated play by Ken Wisenhunt. Russ Grimm is offensive line coach, recent Hall of Famer. They go right in between Sunderland and Deuce Latouille, the big right guard. Latouille looks like a road grader, just moving people through there. Got all over the rookie Rolando McClain on that one.
There is Russ Grimm, Randy's contemporaries, newly minted Hall of Fame.
Just the first member of the Hogs to go in the Hall of Fame.
Beanie Wells lining up with the offset eye to the right. Takes the kick from Anderson on 1st down play. Wells is look good inside the 15. For catapulting himself over Nnamdi Asamoah. And finally, the linebacker Quentin Groves forces him out of bounds.
That wasn't a matter of Nnamdi not wanting to make a tackle. That was more a case of knowing who you're coming up on. You're going to go for him low. And a very, very agile job by Beanie Wells. Wasn't that pretty? Just a little fake in, go up. Corner never gets close.
Wells running for 12 yards, gives the Cardinals another 1st and 10. This time 1st and goal inside the Raiders 10. This is Wells again lunging himself towards the goal line.
He wasn't touched.
Well, let's see what they say. No signal yet. Looks like they'll mark him down at about the 2-yard line. So Beanie Wells, Randy, does not look like a guy who missed 3+ weeks of practice.
Was he knocked down or did he trip? Was he touched at all?
Looked like Stanford Routt got a hand on his back.
Yeah,
as he was lunging forward. The question is, did it come after his knee hit the ground?
That was pretty close. I would call that marginal at best.
The clock continues to run, 11 and change left before halftime. Anderson giving on 2nd and goal. It's Beanie Wells again. Oakland trying to dig in defensively. John Marshall's bunch. There's Ken Wisenhunt coming off the second worst loss of his 3+ years with the Cardinals. Last weekend, a 41-7 setback in Atlanta.
Now the last play, they gave you a here we're coming at you look. Now look at this, the spread offense. Probably still a run, but a spread.
Anderson from the shotgun. Throws end zone, touchdown. Steve Preston, and Arizona retakes the lead as Anderson with the 2-yard strike.
Nice field by Derek Anderson. Little half roll. He sees Preston just clear right in front of Tyvon Branch, the safety. Uncovered, empty hole, 6 points.
Preston dealing with that knee soreness, limited in practice this week. Ready to go today. Point after by Jay Feely is good. And the Cardinals extend their lead to 17-13. Derek Anderson, trying to put the painful memories of week 2 behind him, has given the Cardinals a 4-point lead. Timeout. Well, for the Cardinals, maybe their healthiest offensive drive of the young season. 12 plays, 76 yards, capped by Steve Preston's short 2-yard reception. The Cardinals retake the lead 17-13.
It's a different offense when you get another receiver involved and you get both these running backs involved. It's not all about Fitzgerald. In fact, Fitzgerald hasn't done much of anything.
Fitzgerald blanketed in his first half so far by Asumar. This is Jacoby Ford returning from his own 2. Ford has some real estate, cutting to the 20. He's getting tackled at the 21-yard line. Jason Wright getting there first. And the Raiders will take over after a 21-yard return. 17-13 in Arizona.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx. HTC. Phones that get you. And by Get 'Em to the Greek, unrated. Own it on Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday.
Back with you from Glendale, Arizona. Spiro Ditas, Randy Cross. University of Phoenix Stadium. Cardinals 17, Raiders 13. Bruce Gradkowski on the field with his offense giving to Darren McFadden on first down. Tripped up out past the 25-yard line down to the 27. Provider coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Join JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. A busy week 3 Sunday in the NFL.
And not only these late games, but man, there was some stuff to talk about in those early games.
Yes, there was. The world champion Saints going down for the first time in a young season.
My old team got their tails whooped.
What is going on in San Francisco? Here's Lewis Murphy making the first down catch at the 37-yard line. Randy, how has Gradkowski looked so far? He's looked awfully good, it seems like.
You know, you don't judge this guy by just his numbers. You cannot judge a Bruce Gradkowski by the velocity on his football. I think you judge him by how have they done. 13 points, less than a half of action. He does that again in the second half. That's sort of his MO. He's just going to score. He's going to move the ball. And if you make a mistake, he'll find that open receiver.
Marcel Reese, the fullback, in motion to pitch. Now they get back to Gradkowski. Takes it on a bounce.
Incomplete.
It is an incomplete pass. Kerry Rhodes able to make the stop.
Now the umpire immediately waved it off as an incomplete pass. Watch where the ball is thrown from by McFadden. He throws it from about the 29. It hits the ground way back at like the 26, 27. I don't think that's incomplete. That's a backward lateral.
Looking at the replay, it was clearly behind him.
Yeah. But immediately you'll see the umpire come screaming in. He sees it bounce right there. Waves it off, whistle blown, play dead.
So Gradkowski winds up saving a turnover. They lose 7. And are now faced with a 2nd and 17. Gradkowski stepping up, flushed out. Buying some time. Is forced out of bounds at the 35-yard line. by the linebacker Clark Higgins. Higgins, the longtime Cardinal veteran, missed that 2008 Super Bowl run dealing with a foot injury. 8 long years with the Steelers. And here with the Cardinals for his 3rd season as Gradkowski, Randy, picks up 3, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Well, he's got a player that he can relate to on his own defense. Played with him at Pittsburgh, and Joey Porter came here this year from Miami by way of Pittsburgh.
It's the 3rd different time that those two have played with each other. Also collegiate teammates at Colorado State. Gradkowski from the shotgun on 3rd and long. Firing, it's caught. Hayward Bay inside Cardinals territory. Boy, a guy that they have been waiting and waiting on to produce. Breakout game last weekend with a career-high 80 yards. Moves the chains here.
Well, don't tell me 3rd and 5 plus is next to impossible in this league. There's a nice job. You recognize the zone. Hayward Bay does a very nice job of setting in that zone, and Gradkowski just finds him with a nice little tag.
Bruce Gradkowski, the backup last season, came on to spark the Raiders with 2 pivotal wins that season in a 3-week span, doing it again here. As Michael Bush also making his 2010 debut today. He shelved the first couple of weeks with a thumb injury. And very similar, Randy, to the Cardinals getting an extra boost in the run game. Hopefully, Bush can get himself going, and that provides another dimension for Oakland offensively.
It does. You get McFadden added to that. I wouldn't go out of my way giving the ball too often to Bush with that bad hand until you're completely convinced he's going to be able to handle it. Literally handle it.
Gradkowski with 2nd and long. Airing it down the sideline. Murphy had a step. It'll be 3rd and long.
That's one thing about Raider receivers. Some of them might be big, some of them might be little. They might be heavy, they might be skinny. They are all fast, and they will run right by you just like that. Rogers Cromartie barely had any kind of chance to react, and he's not exactly a guy that can't run himself. But Murphy, Shillings, who's inactive, Hayward Bay are blurs.
Randy, was Murphy, who was Gradkowski's favorite target in those 2 wins last season, catching a pivotal touchdown in each of those wins over Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Gradkowski wrapped up and sacked back at the Raiders 46. Paris Lennon got there first.
Well, this is numbers. That's all. That's all it really is. Take a look at this side of the ball. You've got these 4 players coming. You've only got 3 on 3. So somebody's going to be free. And Lennon comes. That's just bad reaction. That's simply just bad reaction. You can't do that if you're Mario Henderson. You have to be more aware. That was his man.
Shane Leckler on a punt. This is Andre Roberts, rookie wide receiver, fielding from his own 3. Sheds the initial tackle. And the guy who missed that tackle initially able to stay with the play and make the tackle. That's Stevie Brown.
He shed the initial tackle and then ran back into the initial tackler.
50-yard punt by Leckler, a return of 3, 17-13 Arizona. Sparodidis, Randy Cross back with you from Glendale, Arizona. Eric Anderson and the Cardinals, 17-13 lead with 5 and change left in the 2nd quarter. Anderson, low throw on 1st down, intended for Preston. 15-yard line, Preston, told you, dealing with that pain in his knee this week, getting a little bit extra time to get to his feet.
And I know the Raiders are expecting a little bit of pass, but number one, they're expecting this Cardinals offense to want to try to bang that thing out of there. Against this defensive line, that means the D-line absorbs the blocks and maybe sets this rookie linebacker, Rolando McClain, up to be able to run free to the ball.
Playing the Butkus Award winner, national champion Alabama, and Nick Saban last season. Anderson rolling right. Penalty markers at the 15-yard line.
It's a little contact past the 5 yards, I believe. It's going to be against the Raiders D.
illegal hands to the face. Defense number 33, 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Take a look at Tyvon Branch, who it was called on. Far right side of the screen, right there is Tyvon Branch. He got early on, he got that hand up into the face. That's when it was called. And now that gives Arizona a little bit of breathing room.
Branch, one of the guys in the secondary who's been so affected positively, of course, by Nnamdi Asomugha. Since Nnamdi will watch film with the guys every week and maybe give them recommendations on differences with technique, since he's been so impactful in his career in a short time frame with Asomugha.
Boy, there's a beautiful job. We talked about a little bit about Rolando McClain, the rookie middle linebacker. The first people he talked about was his defensive line up in front of him. And there's Tommy Kelly and Bryant just absorbing everything up front. That really was a pretty job of defensive line play, never really having to get to the linebacker. Matt Shaughnessy also right there.
Second and long here. See what Hightower has done so far. There's a 4-point lead. Here's Anderson. Has time. Through the hands of Hightower and incomplete. McClain was in the vicinity again. Actually, it was Jason Wright, the intended receiver. And speaking of McClain, had a chance to sit down with him yesterday after the Raiders got into town. Randy, and expect McClain, the young, big, bad linebacker, to come in. And last thing you expect him to be wearing is a Brooks Brothers sweater vest and khakis. Very soft-spoken guy. They're very, very excited about as they try to resurrect this once proud Raiders defense.
Imagine 6'3", about 260, can run like crazy. You want to run a crossing pattern on this defense? That's what's waiting for you inside.
Third and long. Here's Anderson from the shotgun. Again, Fitzgerald trying to solve Asomugha. And it'll be fourth down.
You know, last week against St. Louis, Danny Amendola found out a little bit about Rolando McClain and how he plays. Amendola catches this. McClain happens to be there. And as he told us, I don't know, I kind of blanked. But I looked up at the replay screen and went, oh yeah, I did do that, didn't I? And not only did he notice it, but so did his defensive coordinator, McClain, and Marshall there, and the league fined him $5,000.
Arizona, meantime, just 2-7 now on third down after the punt by Ben Graham. They down it at the Raiders' 42-yard line. A late marker flies at the 45 after the 46-yard punt by Graham. McClain said right after the game, called his agent, said get ready to appeal. And that fine currently in appeal right now with the NFL.
He won't be able to appeal this penalty. It was a personal foul.
After the ball was dead, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 91, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Defensive end Trevor Scott, the culprit on that foul. 4:24 left to play, first down.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Football fans, today is the day you double down. So good. And by Sony.
Back with you from University of Phoenix Stadium, Arizona 17, the Cardinals 13. Last penalty against the Raiders, personal foul.
Completely flips the field. You saw Arizona backed up. Now the Raiders get the ball well inside Arizona territory.
Actually gets the Cardinals, I beg your pardon, Kenny Owebamo. The culprit gives the Raiders great field position inside Arizona territory. Gronkowski's pass batted up, and it's intercepted. Paris Lennon picks it off and is out of bounds to the 35-yard line.
Oh, what a play. The Raiders bring in Khalif Barnes. He's a big offensive tackle. He lines up at tight end. That sort of leads you to believe it's going to be a run. Well, it's play action. They're trying to flip it down the field. The ball gets batted up in the air, was batted up by Darius Hayward-Bay and right into the hands of Lennon.
Lennon signing a 3-year deal to join the Cardinals in March. First 4 years of his career with the Packers. Last 3 seasons with Detroit. He's Johnny on the spot here. He returns at 11 yards, and now the Cardinals take over 1st and 10 from their own 34. Trick in motion. Play action to Hightower. It's complete to the tight end, Patrick. And Patrick rumbling down to the Raiders' 45-yard line. Michael Huff on the tackle.
Wow, that was nice by Derek Anderson. You see him sell that fake. Watch Anderson bend down, literally sell the fake, and then spring right back up. And the first thing he looked for was Patrick on a quick little pass. Nice play concept by the coaches there of Arizona.
People remember Patrick, an amazing touchdown reception in the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh back in 2008. Here's the chance here. This is Beanie Wells on the first down point, taking on the Raiders defense. Michael Huff getting the Wells shoulder.
That's the second time Michael Huff has been sort of the court of last resort for this Raider defense. This is what you get. Nice little scrunch, kind of once on the sideline and right there in the meat of the field, right in the middle.
Wells so far 9 carries, 53 yards, that time on a 12-yard burst. And the Raiders have it 1st and 10. The Cardinals rather from the Raiders' 34-yard line. It's under 3 minutes to play, second quarter. And Arizona leading 17-13. Here's Anderson. Incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald. Well, they're looking to him so far.
Oh, yeah, that was a very nice job because you know who was covering him? Cameron Wembley. Nnamdi Asamoah dropped him. Look at Wembley, 96, the linebacker. Defensive end is on him trying to cover him. That's one of those matchups you look for. And if you don't take advantage of that, you're almost sick.
They have thrown to Fitzgerald a bunch, has yet to record a catch. Steve Preston in motion on 2nd and 10. Here is Anderson. Anderson going to shove the pass for a dangerous play, and it looks like it's intercepted. Quentin Groves with the pick.
Well, it goes into the record book, just like Gradkowski's tip. Went in as an interception, bounced off the receiver's hands. Same thing here with Anderson, flips the ball forward. Hightower puts his high hand kind of back. You almost would rather the receiver, the running back, either knock it down or don't try to do that. That's on Anderson. He threw it in the wrong spot, clearly. But when that ball gets tipped in the air, that's an invitation for interception.
It's Anderson trying to summon his inner Brett Favre with that little pitch play. So critical Arizona turnover. Gives it back to Oakland with 2:40 left before halftime. Gets to McFadden on first down. McFadden, gang tackled at the 35.
You know, if you think about it, that last interception by Gradkowski really only cost the Raiders, well, basically cost them 30 yards. They had the ball down around the 40-yard line. Now they get the ball back around the 31-yard line. So if you're going to trade an interception on the road for 30 yards, then great. As long as you can count on the quarterback's ball being tipped in the air and you get a tip back.
It's one of the reasons why Anderson has been so frustrating over his career. Showed brilliance at times and then has made that critical mistake. And Zach Miller makes the catch, and that'll get us to the 2-minute warning. Adrian Wilson makes the tackle with $1:59 remaining in the second quarter, and Arizona leading by 4. Quick reminder, the Sprint halftime report comes up at the break. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower with the latest NFL scores and highlights. Sprint halftime report coming up momentarily. Minute 59 remaining. Oakland calling its last time out. McFadden on the draw play from Gradkowski. Inside Cardinals territory to the 30. And out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Kerry Rhodes with the tackle. And Darren McFadden putting the Raiders in business with 33 yards.
Well, the SEC lived in mortal fear of this 0 to 60 speed from a guy this side. Look at the speed coming out. There were no moves there. He saw a crack, and he just exploded through the hole into the defensive backfield. Nice execution by the Raiders up front, but that was more Darren McFadden than anything else. And a little butt plant there at the end.
McFadden in 12 games last season at 357 yards rushing. He's almost eclipsed that number here in 2+ games in 2010.
Now, you mentioned no timeouts, but it's 1 minute 40 seconds or so there's no reason to panic. If you're Bruce Gradkowski in this offense, just kind of take a deep breath, make sure everybody's calm and on the same page. Don't do anything dumb with the ball. This is Janikowski's territory. Tom Cable knows he's got 3 points in his pocket. Now try to push it down the field.
Keep in mind, this is a guy in Gradkowski who before last weekend didn't get many reps in practice as the number 2. Subs in the defenders, finds McFadden. It's a first down and more to the 5. And a touchdown saving tackle by Rhodes to the 3-yard line. 19 yards to McFadden. And it's a first and goal with 60 seconds left.
Again, just calm, plenty of time, just under a minute now. You've gotten a big play. You've got at least 3 shots here. Satelli, the center, is a little dinged up. Watch for penetration inside.
That'll keep the clock running. 43 seconds left and counting. Raiders have to hurry here with some reinforcements.
Well, they're all right. They have plenty of time. This is the kind of thing you practice. And this is also the kind of thing in this situation you can mess up. But they're going to huddle up. They're playing for 2 plays in this situation. This is going to be a pass on second down. Instead, you have time to throw another pass on third.
This will get your nerves up if you're a Raiders fan. There's the pitch play. They keep it on the ground. Boy, it's a gamble, and it pays off for Oakland. Darren McFadden from 2 yards out. Boy, if they don't get that in, they're up against the clock. They always like to do it in unorthodox fashion in Oakland. And the Raiders back in front. Late first half.
I tell you, it's a great, savvy call when it works. Because, well, Arizona's defense was thinking just like I was. Hey, look, they're setting up for 2 passes here. They're going to spread us out. Here comes another one of those passes just like Preston. Langston Walker, the big right tackle, down on the field there, hurt.
The 9th-year man out of Cal. This is Raiders offensive line already shorthanded. No Robert Gallery today. Now with a hamstring injury for a 2nd straight week. There's Gallery on the sideline.
Well, remember, if it was during the regular time, if they had not have scored, you had a player down like this in a timeout, they would have run this last 10 seconds right off the clock. We'd be running in. But this is after a touchdown. So it's an official timeout.
The Raiders scoring drive, 7 plays, 69 yards. In 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And it looks like Langston Walker will be okay. Will walk off the field on his own power. Darren McFadden from 2 yards out puts the Raiders back on top. Darren McFadden punching it in from 2 yards out. 77 first half yards on the ground for McFadden. And 11 carries. Not a math whiz, but it's pretty good average. 1 touchdown.
And again, the quarterback isn't everything in the game. But this gives you a little window into why Tom Cable and this organization is going with Bruce Gradkowski. They just move the ball and they score points when this kid's in there.
Mentioned the scoring drive, 7 plays, 69 yards in just 2 minutes and 30 seconds. A spark plug out of Pittsburgh. Legendary high school career in the same high school conference as Joe Montana, Joe Namath, also George Blanda. Gradkowski broke all of their high school records. Received just one 1A college scholarship offer from Toledo. Undrafted.
Don't run him.
And here he is now leading the Oakland Raiders.
And he survived John Gruden in Tampa his rookie year.
Yes, he did. Credits Gruden with living in that fire that he's displayed in his NFL career. Janikowski's point after is good. And the Raiders build on their lead. It's 20-17.
Well, we talked about the importance of McFadden, Darren McFadden, and what he's meant to this football team. Look at what he's done so far for the Raiders. 11 for 77 in that touchdown. And he has been the difference in this first 3 games, or 2.5 games. for the Raiders in the running game. And that last drive here, you can see all these highlights. That just straight use of speed. Just a beautiful job. That quick little flip, that little screen. Set him up right there near the goal line. And great call by Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator. A little quick flip, because if that's not in the touchdown, that's not in the end zone, that clock's going to run out.
We asked Cable about McFadden's production, and he said, look, people forget, Randy, when this guy's been healthy in his 2+ years, he's produced. And there was never a question on whether he was good enough. It was just a matter of, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, what a great 1-2 punch with he and Michael Bush. You get them both healthy, power and speed. A little hammer with Bush and a little speed and power with McFadden. Now for Janikowski, remember, this is one of the strongest legs in the league. So the Cardinals are playing for a little squib or an onside. You've got to instruct Janikowski, because normally he's going to try to kick it into the crowd behind the goalpost.
Rod Stevens howling. The lone return man will sprint up here, take it on a bounce from his own 21. And return the opening kick, 102 yards for the touchdown. 5 seconds left on the clock. Quick reminder, every Wednesday you can join JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp on cable's longest running show, the multi-award winning Inside the NFL, Wednesday on Showtime.
Worried about having a show like that. The NFL is so schizophrenic early in the season, Sparrow. They bounce back and forth. Today was another great example. The other personalities were on display.
So we saw that today. This is Hightower bouncing to the outside, out past the 40, and forced out of bounds up close to the 45-yard line. So the Cardinals will jog off the field back and forth first half. A 13-yard run to cap the second, as Bruce Gradkowski has his Raiders in position, a 20-17 lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. A little wild first half here in Glendale, Arizona, as the Raiders take the 20-17 halftime lead over the Cardinals. Spiro Ditas and Randy Cross in the booth. 3 different lead changes in the first half. Rod Stevens howling got the party started. This has been a fun 2 quarters so far.
You know, it really has. And for me, really, the biggest difference is field position-wise. The Raiders have averaged getting the ball on their own 40-yard line. And they've been able to run the ball extremely well. You look at what's happened with them with just the stats in general. It's been very impressive.
Randy, take us to our points of protection presented by Allstate.
Darren McFadden, we talked about that rushing game. He really has done a nice job. He's picked up a blitz or 2, I thought, with some of his more physical work. And for Arizona, we talked about protecting the ball. They fumbled a punt and an interception. That was on Derek Anderson. A missed throw, a little wide, and ball batted up in the air.
Bruce Gradkowski taking the reins from Jason Campbell, halftime of their win last weekend at home against St. Louis. So far, that decision by Tom Cable and his offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson has paid off. Granted, this is not the same Cardinals team, Randy, that won back-to-back NFC West titles, albeit a very impressive road win it would be nonetheless. This is Jacoby Ford, the speedster rookie, on his own end zone, unable to get to the 20, as Gradkowski will take over for his first third quarter possession. In case you joined us late, the fireworks came early. The Rod Stevens howling, 102-yard kick return to start, before Gradkowski found Zach Miller, the Phoenix native, for the touchdown. Once again, 3 different lead changes pressed in the touchdown before McFadden punched it in from 2 yards out.
One thing that's really been a factor in this game that has been for a lack of talking about production. Larry Fitzgerald, the all-pro wide receiver, has been silent. Nnamdi Asomugha has really shut him out.
No catches in the first half for Fitzgerald. Here is McFadden. McFadden in the first half, 11 carries, 74 yards in the late touchdown. Picks up 2 there on first down. It'll be second down coming up. We mentioned some of the injuries that the Raiders have had to deal with. Khalif Barnes has to be summoned here at the left tackle position, Randy, after some of the injuries that they dealt with in the first half. We saw Langston Walker come off. Barnes, the 16th man from Washington. In his second season with the Raiders. Kowski out of the shotgun quick drop. Finds the tight end, Brandon Myers. It'll be third down.
And then you get a tackle injury, it does throw you off. We talked a little bit earlier about Langston Walker and Jared Veld here, the rookie, changing places at left tackle. You get a right tackle like Barnes. And the edges have been an issue for the Raiders, especially now you get in 3rd and 4. This is going to be a passing down. Can Henderson and Barnes hold up to the scrutiny, hold up to the pressure? I'd come screaming off the edges on these big guys.
Oakland and company just 1 and 6 on 3rd downs today. Kowski nearly intercepted. Trying to find Miller, the tight end. Right through the hands of Michael Adams.
Yeah, that deserved to be intercepted. And I think a lot of that was because of the pressure. Gradkowski had his big offensive line in front of him. He had his defensive line in front of him. Just threw that thing out there, and he threw it right into the hands of Adams. And the Raiders dodged a bullet, that not going back the other way.
Andre Roberts back deep to return the punt from Shane Leckler. Leckler boots it from his own 15. Roberts, rookie from the Citadel, with a juke step move, cannot shake the defender. As he is buried at the 21-yard line by Thomas Howard, the backup linebacker. 57-yard punt from Leckler as Anderson comes onto the field.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Interconference Week 3 matchup here in Glendale, Arizona. Larry Fitzgerald and company down 20-17, their first offensive possession of their second half. Spiro Adidas, Randy Cross, our entire CBS crew with you from the University of Phoenix Stadium. Harper's fly whistling the play dead. Kenny will make a Derek Anderson onto the field. We'll see what the call is here. Marker throwing at the 23-yard line.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 99 jumped into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down, 5 yards to go.
That's the defensive end, Lamar Houston. Randy, you see what the Cardinals did in the first half, really just one sustained drive in the second quarter to get them that 4-point lead. Really the opening kick has been the difference.
Yeah, that little note at the bottom, that'd be big. Otherwise it's 20-10 right here. It's a little bit different feel to this game.
Just joined us, Rod Stevens Howling returned the opening kick, 102 yards for the touchdown. This is Tim Hightower. Dropped at the 26-yard line. Rolando McClain makes the tackle. Had a chance to spend some time with Hightower, co-authoring a book as Randy takes us through.
Well, it's Richard Seymour and Alan Faneca, about 23 years of playing experience between those two players. Look at Seymour, just controls the line of scrimmage, and it's one of those things you don't see much of unless you look at a coach's tape. But why a linebacker is free to run with the ball, why that happens is because Seymour stuffs everything up in front of Rolando McClain.
Seymour, the 4-time All-Pro, 5 times selected to the Pro Bowl. Hightower trying to find his way behind his offensive front, getting to the 30-yard line. Before Mike Mitchell, the safety, makes the tackle. It's a pretty good matchup between Seymour and Alan Faneca today. Faneca, 9 straight Pro Bowls.
You look at this offensive line, mission accomplished. And inside with that matchup, you also have Tommy Kelly, the other defensive tackle, who's lost about 25 pounds. Spiro has done a very nice job. There's Big Faneca, 13 years out of LSU, and mission accomplished. This is 3rd and short. You can handle these kind of 3rd downs.
Critical play for Derek Anderson in his offense here. He's spotted just outside the 30-yard line. Anderson from the shotgun. Caught. It's the rookie Max Colmar. Rookie out of Idaho, undrafted. One of 3 rookie wide receivers, 2 of which were undrafted.
Look at Larry Fitzgerald come through the middle of this defense, wide open. Did not have Nnamdi Asomugha on him. One of the few times today we've seen him run free, not only in the defense, but Asomugha free.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, Fitzgerald's still not at full strength. The miss extended time, suffered that knee injury in the first week of the preseason. He's not at 100% for week 1. But played despite that. And here he is in week 3, yet to post a catch. Anderson buried in the backfield inside the 30. Matt Shaughnessy, the backup defensive end, got there first as they pushed the Cardinals back.
I didn't hear the jailbreak siren, but for all intents and purposes, that's what happened on this play. Derek Anderson just gets overwhelmed. Hightower's trying to block. Faneca's trying to block. He's looking for a place to crawl down and minimize the damage.
Lose 7 yards on the second. As we move inside of 11 minutes left in the third. Cardinals offense last week in that big loss in Atlanta. Just 267 total net yards of offense. This is Hightower. With a lunge past the 30. Navy got to the 32. McLean among a host of Raider tackles after a pickup of a yard.
Boy, that's good stuff. Listen to this. You know, and Rolando McLean is just scratching. I mean, not even all the paint. He isn't even down to the primer scratching what he's got in his game. Because he's just thinking still a little bit too much. He's not really reacting yet. When he just starts playing on reaction, it's going to be scary what this kid can do.
Randy just turned 21 years old. That is frightening for the rest of the NFL. This is Anderson. Finds Fitzgerald, finally his first catch of the day. It's a big one. Moves the chains inside the Raiders' side of the field to the 49-yard line.
Very nice job. Fitzgerald creates separation. Both players, Asamoah and Fitzgerald, try to get their arms extended, get in the first shot. Fitzgerald gets in the first shot, fights past those long arms of Nnamdi's, and he's able to turn his body and give a nice little target for Anderson to hit.
It's Mike Mitchell being helped off the field. 18 yards between Anderson and Fitzgerald. They're spotted back just inside Cardinals territory at the 49. So 1st and 10 from there. You see Fitzgerald. And we mentioned the first ever regular season meeting against Nnamdi Asamoah here this afternoon.
5th time they've thrown to him. 1 reception so far. Advantage Asamoah.
This is Hightower. Dancing to the outside, brought down at the 49-yard line.
Nice job by Stevie Brown. Just brought onto the roster. They released Eric Pears, brought Stevie Brown on the roster. Look how he deals not only with Preston with the block, comes off that. That doesn't have any part of that whole straight arm thing. Hightower tries to get the straight arm in there, and Brown does a nice job of fighting right through it.
Hightower in his 3rd NFL season, born in Santa Ana, California. Collegiate star at Richmond. Getting a chance early in the season, especially with the injury to Beanie Wells. 2nd and 9. Anderson again trying to shuffle pass, had that one picked off earlier. And another dangerous decision. Preston was the intended receiver. Stanford route had him covered.
You know, Derek Anderson has a habit of channeling his inner Brett Favre, and he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have the chops, and he doesn't have the accuracy. So I'd stop the channeling and start throwing it into the ground, because making those balls available will do nothing but hurt your football team.
It looked like more like Jake Delhomme on that play. Jake Delhomme of the last few years at least. Dangerous play by Anderson. Cardinals fortunate to retain possession. 3rd and 9 here as we come up on 8 minutes left. And Anderson barely able to beat that play clock. Turns and burns the Cardinals' first timeout. A 3-point lead for Oakland here in Glendale. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. AT&T. We think possible. And by Nike.
Well, the Cardinals offensively have been decent today, Randy, on 3rd down, 4 of 9. They're faced here with 3rd and 9 from the 49-yard line. 1 snap count from Anderson out of the shotgun formation. Anderson under pressure and sacked at the 43-yard line. Richard Seymour able to wrap him up.
That's that matchup we talked about earlier. It was important when they were backed up, and it became more important on 3rd and long. Richard Seymour coming from working off that defensive end position, defensive tackle position, I should say, on the defensive left side. Just comes inside and works right around Deuce Latui, the right guard, and easily swims over.
Cameron Wembley also coming around the corner to apply the pressure. This is Johnny Lee Wiggins trying to cut back. It's knocked down from blindside right at the 10-yard line. 48-yard punt, a return of just 1 yard. Timeout. Well, the Raiders traveling well. One of their legends in attendance here in Glendale, the Snake, Ken Stabler, obliging some of the Raiders fans for those autographs, and also showing them some tattoos as well during the break.
Yeah. But if you want an autograph, sometimes you just got to give. You got to validate. Well, I don't know if I'm going to sign this. Well, see, Ken. Yeah, I'm a real Raider fan. I've got my Raiders shield on my chest.
I don't think there's anything Stabler has seen that would catch him off guard.
No.
At this point, over the years.
Trust me, I know Ken. He doesn't get surprised.
Second down here for the Raiders. Gronkowski in the center. Get it out past the 25-yard line with McFadden. Calais Campbell, the 30-year defensive end from Miami, on the tackle.
Yeah, that's one thing. You got to take your hat off to Al Davis and his Raider organization. They're one of the teams in this league that does such a fabulous job of keeping in touch and cultivating their history and their traditions and some of their great players. They really do. Al Davis has always made a point of that. And there are always former Raiders around.
Only NFL team to have been in the Super Bowl in 4 of the last 5 decades, going back to the 1960s. This is Louis Murphy with some yardage after the catch. Still going inside Cardinals territory. 30, 20, and finally forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Greg Toller on the touchdown-saving stop.
It starts off with Derek Anderson. With Bruce Gronkowski taking a chance. Look at the chance. That ball is just threaded in there, but then Louis Murphy, one of the fastest players in the NFL, he's eating up 5 yards every 1.5 steps or so. And it looks like he's going all the way because Adrian Wilson's not going to catch him.
Louis Murphy scampering 69 yards. And now it's 1st and 10 from inside the Cardinals 15. Markers fly behind the players. McFadden inching closer to the 10. Tackled by Brian Robinson, the defensive tackle.
It's got holding written all over it.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty is still 1st down.
Holding against Mario Henderson, working right there. Remember, our umpire is right basically behind Mario. Used to be behind the center, sort of in the field of battle there, right behind the center, about 4 or 5 yards. But now he's well back behind the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the field, about 10 yards behind the ball. And he's looking right, he stands right in here, and I tell you, he's looking right in there. That's right where he threw the flag.
Can't get anything past that guy from that vantage point. McFadden just stumbling to the 23-yard line. Does pick up some positive yardage. We've been talking about Bruce Gronkowski, named the permanent starter Wednesday of this week after coming on in relief of Campbell last Sunday. And so far, about 10 yards per completion, Randy. He's looked very good.
Yeah, I wouldn't go by the numbers personally. He's put 20 points on the board. He's moved this team down the field. He's made the plays he's supposed to make. Because if you're just going to judge this kid by his numbers, well, then Campbell would still be starting.
Campbell not talking to the media this week. Says that the Raiders asked him not to talk. Gronkowski throws for a dangerous looking play there, incomplete. We mentioned all the quarterback changes in the NFL here in week number 3. Ryan Fitzpatrick, well, they had the Patriots on the mat early in that game. Randy had a 13-7 lead before coming up short. Jimmy Clausen and Charlie Batch.
You know, you have no idea how happy Charlie Batch would be to be referred to as a new man.
That's right.
After 13 years and all the starts and all the years and trials and tribulations, to be in a new anything is a compliment for Charlie.
And how about the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-0 in the absence of Ben Roethlisberger?
You don't mess with Dick LeBeau's defense.
3rd and 20 for the Raiders. Gronkowski buying himself some time. Incomplete. Trying to find Zach Miller. Kerry Rhodes defending the pass.
You know, today on the NFL Today, they did a fabulous feature on Dick LeBeau's defense, and the first word you heard was violent. And that's what the good defenses do. The good defenses play violently, and they play quickly to the ball. And Kerry Rhodes does a very nice job of playing quickly to the ball and denying Miller.
Rhodes a little bit too violent last week. Ejected in that loss in Atlanta. Bumping an official out to complain of the call. This is Janikowski from 41 yards out, and it's no good. That'll sting for Oakland. Unable to build on its 3-point lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet? And by DirecTV. Watch your favorite team wherever you live, only on DirecTV. Call to switch today.
Well, it's hard to believe it's been 6 years since the death of American hero Pat Tillman. He died in Afghanistan in 2004. That's the statue commemorating his life right outside the stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. This is Derek Anderson rolling out, completing to Ben Patrick out past the 40-yard line. He's done such an amazing job of commemorating Tillman. Was a Pro Bowler back in 2000, but of course his life about much more than football.
I'm actually proud to say I was in the Tillman USO Center, which is at Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. And he's an amazing individual. And I'm also proud to say he's a fellow classmate for the 2010 College Football Hall of Fame.
Randy going in, of course, our congratulations to Randy and Pat Tillman, his family. This is Beanie Wells on 2nd down and short.
For these Cardinals, what you've seen here the last couple of plays is what has to be their MO going forward. It's nice to know you're going to get an occasional big play out of your passing game. The days of the Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden, Steve Breston, almost greatest show on turf kind of offense are gone. They've got to pound the ball and do it consistently.
This is 3rd and short. Wells lowering his shoulder to the 45-yard line. How'd you like to be Larry Fitzgerald when you go from playing with some of those aforementioned names? Anquan Bolden, who had a huge day today for Baltimore, says these days I'm kind of like a loner. Stay to myself, playing with 3 rookie wide receiving teammates, 2 of which 32 NFL teams didn't think were good enough to draft.
It's got to be a humbling / sobering experience, but it gives them an opportunity to teach. It gives them an opportunity to rise to the occasion.
What a career Fitzgerald has had. This is Beanie Wells on 1st down. Well, Wells has looked awfully good inside Raiders territory. Quentin Groves on the tackle.
What a nice job. Beanie Wells has done a fabulous job today for a guy that hasn't played much, really running over his pads, or behind his pads, I should say. He is constantly delivering a blow like this. He ends every single run going forward. That's the best thing you can say about a running back.
So that one goes for 9 yards. Wells so far today, 12 rushes for 68 yards. Gets a blow here with Tim Hightower back on the field. 2nd down, Anderson to a wide open Preston. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. 24 yards, Anderson to Steve Preston.
We talked about the frustration of Larry Fitzgerald. Well, if you're going to worry so much about Fitzgerald, they're going to drag him across the field. They're going to bring Williams up the field next to Breaston, and that leaves Breaston wide open. Raiders lose track of a receiver like that. He may be a little limpy. His knee may be sore. He's going to catch those when he's got no one around him.
Anderson called him the antithesis of what the modern NFL wide receiver has become. Very quiet guy, stays to himself. In fact, Derek says, Breaston never says anything. This is Hightower rumbling inside the 10 and finally brought down at the 6 by Tyvon Branch.
Well, I tell you, Brandon Keith, the right tackle, check out 72. He becomes a speed bump. You want to watch, get a ticket. Not only that, he made a tackle. He'll get a little grief from Russ Grimm, his offensive line coach. You don't ever slack off. You don't ever stop blocking, stop moving. You don't hear a whistle, go find somebody and hit. Don't just stand around.
Hightower goes for 13 yards. It was the second extended offensive drive by Arizona today. Fitzgerald in motion, top of your picture. Anderson going in zone, caught. Fitzgerald, touchdown Arizona.
Delicious little appetizer, delicious little reward. You lose track of a receiver like Fitzgerald. He settles right in that zone. And Anderson does a nice job of delivering it to him for the touchdown. He's been covered a lot. He hasn't seen a lot of the balls, but he's caught the ones that counted.
For Fitzgerald, just his second reception today. That one from 8 yards out from Anderson. And we have our fourth lead change of the afternoon. Jay Feely with the extra point, and the Cardinals retaking the lead, 24-20. Larry Fitzgerald, second catch of the day. The last one from 8 yards out, the touchdown throw from Derek Anderson. See the scoring drive? Second touchdown of the young season for Fitzgerald. The fourth lead from Derek Anderson. See the scoring drive? Second touchdown of the young season for Fitzgerald. The fourth lead change of the day, and it's 24-20 Arizona. Jay Feely on the kick. Jacoby Ford, the rookie from Clemson, back deep to return. Fourth round pick in last April's draft. Ford will take a knee in the end zone, and it will be a 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 20-yard line. Well, tonight is Super Bowl quarterback Drew Brees, as good as they say. 60 Minutes puts his accuracy to the test. You'll see the results tonight on the season premiere of 60 Minutes, only CBS.
You want a synopsis of that
Yes,
question
go ahead.
from 60 Minutes? Yes.
Thank you, Randy.
So now you know. No, he is
tonight.
He is that good, though. And I think fans love just sort of getting the feedback, the interplay with this guy. He's something truly special.
Busy off season. Saints today losing for the first time in this young season. Beaten by the Atlanta Falcons. Gronkowski hit as he throws, finds the fullback Reese. Now past the 25 and brought down at the 26.
Boy, Darnell Dockett gets in there in a flash, but watch the poise of Gronkowski. Joey Porter comes in. Dockett hits him around the knees, and he still gets the ball out to Reese, the fullback. The screen's being set up, and he just flips it out and turns a negative play into a positive play.
Oh, Randy, you see the head whiplash. Gronkowski's head hitting the turf violently. It's amazing he got back up as quickly as he did.
Not much hair in that helmet to pad that hit either.
It's hard not to root for Gronkowski. He's the little guy, literally and figuratively. Second and short, trying to find the marker is McFadden. Close to the 27-yard line, tackled by Dockett.
Yeah, both these offenses very much are in the kind of category where you'd say they have to play the percentages. They need third and short, and they got third and short here.
Well, the pendulum has swung back and forth today here in Glendale. Neither team has held the lead bigger than 7 points. As right now the Cardinals in front 24-20. A critical third down for Oakland to start the fourth. McFadden on the draw play will move the chains. He's out to the 35-yard line. It's Kerry Rhodes on the tackle after McFadden picks up 7. Let's go to New York, get an update. Here's James Brown.
Spiro and Randy. Peyton Manning will find you if you're open, even if you've just been signed off of the practice squad, moved up, and that's exactly what happened here as he finds Blair White on that 9-yard strike there, capping a 10-play, 79-yard drive. They're on top easily, Spiro and Randy.
How dare you not live up to Peyton's expectations if you're one of his wide receivers? He'll work so hard, he'll make sure you step up.
So here in Glendale, 2 1-1 teams looking for a pivotal win early in the season. That's McFadden. Tackle made by Dan Williams, the backup defensive tackle. And another reason, aside from the obvious, why this game is so important, the schedule for both teams gets very tough over the next couple of weeks. The Raiders with 2 home games against Houston and San Diego. And for the Cardinals, they got the Chargers and the Saints over the next 2 weeks.
And both these football teams playing a lot of young players. Dan Williams, a defensive lineman, a great example of the reps he's getting.
This is Gronkowski on second down. It's
live ball
in the back. It's a live football. Marcel Reese picks it up and he cuts it up. Boy, the presence of mind to just bat it out of bounds. Wild sequence. They'll spot it back at the 22-yard line.
He batted it forward, actually.
Okay, you all right?
Take a look at Mike Carey, our referee, who gets caught in the action. As that ball comes out, it bounces off of Reese. Then Reese runs him down. Then the ball comes loose. And actually, the ball probably belongs back by the 19-yard line because he batted that ball forward.
That's something you can't do. They wind up losing 14 yards.
Better than losing the ball.
It's Joey Porter who jarred it loose, coming around the corner from the blind side. 3rd and 23, Gronkowski from the shotgun. The whistle will blow the play dead. The official making the false start motion.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty is still third.
That's Jared Beldier.
Absolutely, and just coming off the field, Langston Walker again, the big offensive tackle, so Khalif Barnes has to come back on. 3rd and forever. This is an offensive lineman's nightmare.
Randy, how difficult, as you see the penalty numbers, how difficult is it as an offensive lineman to rotate in and out during the course of the game?
It's hard to get that feel, but if you're used to it in practice, you're used to it in the preseason, you sort of adjust to it. This is a terrible situation to get thrown into. I'd attack Barnes, 69 right here.
3rd and 28. Gronkowski just trying to gain some positive yardage for Winkler. This is Michael Bush seeing his first action of the season. Out to the 32-yard line, the Raiders will punt. We go back to New York and James Brown.
Spiro, Michael Vick has been getting it done with his arm all afternoon. Take a look now, just in case you forgot. If the line breaks down, the pressure comes, he can take it to pay dirt, sprinting 17 yards for the score. 28-3, Philly all over Jacksonville. Back to Spiro and Randy.
Well, that is one quarterback change that they will not be second-guessing after this week at least.
Offense, number 27. 5-yard penalty is still 4th down.
Yeah, a little mini self-implosion by the Raiders here. Tom Cable has to look on and, give it the old what the heck's going on. Or I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But Michael Vick situations. Why make a big deal about that? He's so clearly a better quarterback than Kevin Conley.
Stevie Brown is the man who was penalized a moment ago. That's going to take a favorable bounce. They say it's a live football. A pylon at the 15-yard line. Oakland says they have it. No signal yet.
That is a big-time mental error by the Cardinals if the Raiders get this ball. It's a big-time mental error, period, no matter who gets it.
And it's Raiders football. Boy, we have seen some enormous special teams plays today.
Remember, earlier it was Ware that the ball bounced off of. It was 22 Ware earlier. Now look at the left knee. Yep, bounces right off the lefty of Raiders Cardinals, the starting quarterback, in on punt return. The second it touches the return team player, it is a live ball, can be recovered.
So Quentin Groves falls on the football. Raiders Cardinals, who had a rough week last Sunday in Atlanta. There's 2 pass interference penalties. And here upset with himself as they give Gradkowski and the football inside Cardinals territory from the 16-yard line. Darren McFadden inside the 15. Kerry Rhodes makes the tackle.
That's a major league unforced error, because for this Cardinal special teams group, Spiro, it started out so well. Stevens Howling goes 102 yards. And then this is the one that hit Ware. And now the next one comes down and it hits Raiders Cardinals. You're not good enough to make one of these mistakes, much less 2.
See what McFadden has done today, approaching the century mark on 19 carries. Zach Miller in motion. Gradkowski play action. Low throw. Nice grab by Reese, the fullback. Just nowhere to go. Paris Lennon on the tackle.
It's a lot of trust by the quarterback, Gradkowski. When you run that formation, you come out of that fake, you spin your head around, and you're hoping you don't see a pass rusher. But if you get a face full of Arizona Cardinal, you're just finding a friendly face to maybe flip that thing to. And it's not a bad idea. If you don't even flip it to him, you just throw it into the 3rd row.
Randy, they wind up losing 4 yards. And now Tom Cable and Hugh Jackson will burn a timeout. Well, here in Arizona, moments ago, the Cardinals committing their 2nd special teams turnover of the day. They've given the Raiders possession, and here a critical 3rd and 10 from the Arizona 16-yard line. Spiriditas, Randy Cross with him from Glendale, Arizona. Gradkowski from the shotgun. Throwing high, nearly intercepted. Again, a dangerous throw by Gradkowski. Zach Miller, the intended receiver, Kerry Rhodes, upset that he didn't make the pick.
He ought to be upset. If he doesn't get his hands up, that one might have stuck in his face mask, because it was thrown right at his head.
They're holding defense number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
A critical defensive penalty. And this is something, Randy, that burned them last Sunday in Atlanta.
Michael Adams right there on that penalty. That's ridiculous. And, you know, you see the little tap in the chest. That's on me. That's right. Kerry Rhodes, not only to make it worse, you're holding on the defense. You drop the interception, it's right in your face. And you have the ball hit you into Raiders Cardinals. Very top of the screen.
Adams, the 4th-year man from Louisiana Lafayette, committing the penalty. It's a first down for the Raiders. Gradkowski somehow gets it off to Lewis Murphy. Murphy out of bounds inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
It's not hard to figure out if you've got a weapon and you're Bruce Gradkowski and you've got a Zach Miller at tight end. That's one of the first things Adrian Wilson talked about Friday was we're not treating this guy like a normal tight end. We're treating him more like a wide receiver. When you get in the red zone and you've got this kind of receiver, he's one of the elite tight ends that people love to throw to, especially in the red zone.
Saw Murphy there on that graphic. 4 catches for 93 yards. 2nd and 8. Gradkowski yanked to the turf. Dockett got his arms around him. And you see the motion there by Gradkowski, says that he was horse-collared by Dockett. No markers on the field.
Well, that's because he was. Darnell Dockett comes over the top, and he comes unblocked. Are you kidding me? You're going to turn Darnell Dockett loose and tell McFadden, go ahead and get him? That's not a linebacker. That's a 6'4", 290-pound beast. Turn that loose on a running back.
It's the 3rd sack that the Raiders have allowed this afternoon. Something that Campbell has been very displeased with, the play of the offensive line over the first 3 weeks of the season. This is 3rd and 12. Gradkowski from the shotgun. Throwing end zone. Incomplete.
Didn't turn back.
There's the flag.
Didn't turn back. That's going to be pass interference.
Greg Toller is the
pass
culprit.
interference. defense number 28. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball was placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic, first down.
Wow. The term shooting yourself in the foot comes to mind, and the Cardinals are about out of toes. First, Rogers Cromartie has the punt hit him. The ball turns over. I mean, all Toller has to do is look back, glance back. You can't run into the receiver like that in the end zone or at any other time without looking back at the ball.
Toller to the sideline, the former 4th-round pick in 2009. Michael Bush has come on here, lining up behind his fullback Marcel Reese. Bush lunges end zone. No signal yet. And they say he is inches short. Clark Hagan's credited for the tackle.
He's going to be second down in about a foot. That's a beautiful job. I believe it was Lennon and Branch getting in low, taking out the legs of Bush before he could really jump.
So no gain. It'll be second and goal here. We're spotted about 6 inches short of the goal line. These are 2 football teams desperately looking for a win. Both at 500 here in week 3. Pre-snap movement. Markers all over the place.
Who was more confused there? The defense or the offense that happened to be they're just going to snap the ball and try to sneak it. How can you be offside? How can you move? The center snaps it on the quarterback's field. Gronkowski gets underneath the center, gives him the goose, wants the ball. The center and the quarterback, they can move first. But anybody else moving is inexcusable.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty. Second down. Second down.
We've seen this a couple of times today. A lot of confusion, whether it be with formations. Randy trying to get the right personnel on the field. Tom Campbell just shaking his head.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's no excuse. And Loper might have been offsides anyway. But the play clock had run out. He had used all that play clock time up. That's why Gronkowski got underneath the center and was so desperate for the ball.
Raiders today have committed 10 penalties for 119 yards. This is second and goal from back just outside the 5. Bunch formation set, top of your picture. Gronkowski calling end zone, and it's incomplete. Hayward Bay trying to make a one-handed stab. Was covered by Toller.
Well, Gronkowski went to the right spot. He got Toller and Hayward Bay manned up. Toller got just about enough of Hayward Bay, and Gronkowski put that ball right on that back pylon where only his player could, only the offensive player could get to it. Just a freckle overthrown.
Bruce Gronkowski trying to lead this Raiders team for their second win of the young season. Took over for Jason Campbell second half last Sunday. His Raiders down 4 here in the 4th. Gronkowski, end zone, incomplete. Same matchup as a moment ago, Hayward Bay against Toller.
There you go, Greg Toller. You knew where the ball was, you looked back, you just looked enough of it, and you knocked that thing out there. That is some very nice defense. Not Hayward Bay's fault. That ball was put right where it was supposed to be. Toller wouldn't let it be completed. How big's that earlier miss to Janikowski's now?
Janikowski missing from inside of 43 yards for the first time in 2 years. This is Janikowski from 23, and he's brought the Raiders to within a point. However, the Raiders unable to capitalize with a touchdown after 2 defensive penalties on the Cardinals.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Budweiser. Grab some buds and be a part of the Budweiser National Happy Hour on September 29th. New Degree Men Adventure. And by the all-new CRZ Sport Hybrid, only from Honda.
A reminder for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Raiders Cardinals from Glendale, Arizona. Spiriditas with Randy Cross, our score. The Cardinals 24, the Raiders 23. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following the game, except on the West Coast.
Pretty simple strategy here for the Cardinals. Get this ball, pound it on the ground. Both teams 2 timeouts. You want to use as much of this clock as possible and score at least a field goal.
Rod Stevens Howard, a young speedster from his own end zone. Coming back to the spin move, but his reps up is buried at the 21. Thomas Howard, the special teams tackler. It's a 1-point game in Arizona, 7:50 left in regulation. NFL.com's all-new fantasy football game is the first and only game with video. Play with your friends or compete against other NFL fans at NFL.com/fantasy. This is Arizona offensively. Derek Anderson on first down, unable to get the play off as markers fly.
False start. Illegal snap. Offense number 63. 5-yard penalty and still first.
Penalty against Sandlin, the center. Watch the quick little, see that arm move? That's exactly what they called. That's actually a very good call. At first you might think it was the defensive player that caused the offense to move, but Sandlin flexes that forearm, moves the ball a little bit. Defense can't be blamed for moving on that.
Randy Lyle's got to know he can't do that, right? It's a critical mistake at this juncture.
Or he can't get away with it.
That past the officials. Again, Oakland, a rush defense, something that has really hamstrung this defense over the last decade.
How about Richard Seymour coming off Sandlin? That nose tackle. I'd go back to the huddle if I was Beanie Wells and go, boys, there's about 11 guys on the defense. Do not turn the big ones loose. Turn the other guys loose is okay, but the 300-something pounders, please hit those guys.
Seymour looking refreshed after missing last week's game with the hamstring strain. 3-time Super Bowl champ with New England. Beanie Wells, boy, we've seen that for the second time today.
Flat deep late.
Wells getting out past the 25-yard line now. It depends on the penalty.
Could be another composure type foul. Late shot in the back, maybe a hit in the face.
Wells picked up 7. Here's the call.
Personal foul, major face mask on the runner number 26. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
See, if you're the kind of person out there that's always saying they never call face mask on the offense. Well, at a critical time, you just saw it. First the hurdle, then the face mask. You grab a hold of the face mask. If you get a handful and don't let go, it can be called, obviously. And Beanie Wells definitely had a handful of Hiram Eugene's face mask.
4 of Arizona's 5 penalties today have come at a critical juncture here in the second half.
You got to ask right now, if you're the Cardinals, do you guys really want to win?
Cardinals will be spoiling their home opener today here in week 3. 24-20 with under 7 minutes remaining. This is 2nd and 21. Anderson throwing across his body. He's getting it out of bounds. And now the Cardinals just need some positive yardage for their punter, Ben Graham, on 3rd and 21.
Rolling to his left, he makes a smart decision. He's being pursued by Seymour and others, and he throws it into the kicking net. Ken Wisenhunt, you got to look at that and say, well, that was a nice decision. That gives me another chance to call a play that's got a chance of working here on 3rd and ultra long.
Anderson's been in some tough spots today. Obviously dealing with the penalties that have held his team back, but almost an impossible situation here. 3rd and 21. As they have it spotted just outside the 12-yard line.
Good situation for a zone blitz, Sparrow.
Gerald at the bottom of your picture against Asamoah. Anderson firing, and it's incomplete. Fitzgerald was the closest man there, and now Graham will have to punt, pinned just outside his own end zone.
Nice job. Pressure's coming from the outside right. outside left, and finally it's right up the heart, coming right into Anderson's face. It was a very nice job by Trevor Scott getting in there late and forcing that late throw.
Scott, a guy that bounced around, moved from defensive end to linebacker last season, back to defensive end here in 2010. There's Johnny Lee Higgins, backpedaling, fielded on a back hop from his own 29. Spin move to get him out of bounds, right at the 30-yard line. 58-yard punt from Graham. Bruce Gradkowski back onto the field, down a point when we come back.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Prudential, the rock you can rely on to meet today's financial challenges. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
And what a finish here in Glendale. Bruce Gradkowski and the Raiders back in possession, down a point with 6:20 left in the fourth. Nowhere to go, just lowers his shoulder, picks up some positive yardage. Calais Campbell on the tackle after the quarterback picks up a yard.
There's a reason people are all pro and pro bowlers. Watch Darnell Dockett. Think this guy's quick getting off the ball? How would you like a piece of that? Cooper Carlisle, it's all he can do just to stay in front of him somewhat. They absolutely destroyed the pocket there. Gradkowski had to get the heck out of there.
Dockett, an emotional return to Atlanta last weekend. Grew up in Decatur, Georgia. Second and 10, Gradkowski, play action, finds the sliding Murphy at the 43.
Could have been a push-off by Murphy. There was some contact there late.
What a day it's been for Murphy. 4 catches, 93 yards.
Little contact. Defense number 58 is declined. Play results. First down.
So it's a first down hookup. Gradkowski to Murphy. Now Murphy over the century mark.
Oh, it was a nice job. Good call by the official too. Darrell Washington, the rookie out of TCU. Bumps and kind of half grabs Murphy about 10-15 yards down the field. Well past that zone. Would have been a good college play, but at this level it's a penalty.
Now Ken Wisenhunt throws out the challenge flag. They'll take another look.
We're going to challenge. He's going to challenge on the fact of whether or not he caught it.
So from the vantage point, the replay we
The
saw.
on the field is a catch for a first down. Is being challenged by Arizona. Timeout.
We'll take another look. Murphy sliding at the Arizona 43-yard line.
Are the hands under the ball? That's all you need to know. Didn't move.
A 15-yard hookup between Bruce Gradkowski and Lewis Murphy being challenged here by Ken Wisenhunt in Arizona.
See those white gloves? Ball clearly seems to be above those white gloves and into the chest / belly of Murphy. All you really have to look at is trying to see it last minute. Do you see any ball from this angle on the ground? And is there anything actually definitive about this that you can clearly look at this and say the ball hit the ground?
Tough to overturn that call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Arizona is charged with their second team timeout.
It was worth a shot, but remember again, Ken Wisenhunt has to hope that Mike Carey goes under that hood and sees something very definitive in his mind that just said, "Hell, the ball hit the ground." But if there's nothing definitive, you're going to go with the call on the field, which was a catch.
Randy, that's a big gamble by Wisenhunt. Now they're down to one final timeout if you're the Cardinals. A gamble that Wisenhunt felt he needed to take on a 15-yard pass play that his defense gave up. The pitch to McFadden. Just inside the 40. Tackle made by Brian Robinson after McFadden picks up 5.
Wow, we've seen Daniel Loper, Mario Henderson, a little bit of Khalif Barnes, but that left side of Loper and Henderson doing a nice job on that quick little flip to Darren McFadden. 2 or 3 times today. It's just been cleared out for their running back.
Fadden over 100 yards today. Entered week 3 as the second leading rusher in the NFL. 2nd and 5. Excellent tackle by Lennon, the linebacker. Otherwise, McFadden had a first down, and Lennon was slow to get to his feet.
Well, I tell you 2 things right here, too. In the huddle, you've got to be smart here as an offense, and you've got to tell each other, hey, look, protect the ball, let's get yards, but stay inbounds. Don't stop the clock. Using the clock as your friend in this position. Lennon come lip it off. Got caught in a pretty good tangle there at the end of that run. Looking at about a third and 1.5 or so.
Officials have it spotted just inside the Cardinals' 36-yard line. The break of the action gives us a chance to look ahead to next Sunday, week 4 in the NFL. The NFL on CBS will rock with regional action. Ray Lewis and the Ravens battling Hines Ward and the 3-0 Steelers. Other people will see the Jets and Bills, or Peyton Manning's Colts against the Jaguars. Check your local listings beginning with the NFL today, 12 noon Eastern time. See what the Raiders have done. 3rd downs this afternoon, just 3 of 12. 3rd and 2 here. They're well within Janikowski's field goal range. Boy, again, movement before the snap.
Offense number 75, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, these penalties again, and the edges have been a problem for the Raiders in the first 2 weeks, and you see Mario Henderson being the first one to move there. That's past inexcusable. In this situation, you can't move. I know you're on the road. I know it's loud.
Janikowski missing from 41 yards earlier. His career long, a 61-yarder back in December of 2009. This is 3rd and 7. Janikowski incomplete. Rashad Johnson, the backup safety, batting it down.
Be a whole different feeling game if the Arizona Cardinals had defensive backs that could catch. Because Johnson has this one thrown right in his hands. Does a very nice job of undercutting that route and that pass to Miller.
This will be a 58-yard attempt by Janikowski.
Well in his wheelhouse, distance-wise.
Again, his career long 61 yards last December. Janikowski. No good.
Janikowski missed about 42, 43-yarder earlier. Missed an understandable miss there from that distance.
Randy, any thought, I should say, of maybe going for the pooch punt, pinning him back, and depending on your defense, or is that an easy call for Tom Cable to go for the field goal?
With Sebastian Janikowski, it's a weapon you pay a lot of money for. It's a weapon you spend a high draft pick on. It's an advantage you have. I think you have to use it.
So 2nd missed field goal for Sebastian Janikowski. And now the Cardinals have it just inside of midfield, leading 24-23 with 4:31 left in the 4th. Wilson desperately needing a prolonged offensive drive. This is Hightower.
Look, there's 2 reasons you go for it in that situation. You let Janikowski kick it. One is you've seen warm-ups in pregame, 63 yards, other side of the Cardinals' head there, and Janikowski drills it. And honestly, Spiro, I'll ask you a question. Do you think Arizona's done giving Oakland opportunities?
Probably not.
So
based on what we've seen,
there's another reason you gamble. You're playing a team very similar to yourself that loves to give up opportunities.
Oakland still has 2 timeouts left in their back pocket as well, so Cable being very secure with that decision. This is Preston on the end-around play inside Raiders territory to about the 47. Michael Huff combining on the tackle.
Yeah, it's a pretty job by Michael Huff in full fill mode to just body up on Breston coming around in that reverse. It's easy to hesitate in this situation. Michael Huff never puckers up a bit. He comes full speed the whole way.
So both teams now down to their final timeout. Well, a reminder, it's a night of premieres on CBS, beginning with 60 Minutes, followed by The Amazing Race and Undercover Boss. Tonight, only CBS. We're at the University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona, Week 3. AFC versus NFC. Two 500 teams. It's a one-point game with 3:44 left to see the timeout scenario. Cardinals will have it 3rd and 5. The Raiders 47.
Now you're starting getting into some of those you got to downs. For the Raiders, you have to stop them. You have to give your offense another chance. I don't care if they pin your offense down inside the 10 or the 5 on a punt here. If they get force 4th down, you have to stop now.
4 wide receivers for Anderson. Fitzgerald in motion. Anderson over the middle, in and out of the hands of the rookie Stephen Williams. Make it Preston. Have to help your quarterback in that situation.
Well, sometimes you also have to play the card of it's the quarterback's job to put it on his body a little bit more. The ball was a little bit deflected. I'm not sure if that was Richard Seymour in there, but maybe it was Rolando McClain that got a piece of it and deflected that to Preston.
This is the left-footed kicker, Brent. Johnny Lee Higgins will let it bounce into the end zone. And the Raiders will take over a 47-yard punt from Graham. As Gradkowski comes back onto the field. So a one-point game here. Let's go to New York and an update with JB.
Spiro, what a way to break a tie ball game. Leon Washington, who already has a 101-yard kickoff return to his credit in today's game. It's deja vu all over again. This one 99 yards to pay dirt. His 6th career kickoff return for a score. It's now 27-20 Seattle on top of San Diego late in the 4th. Spiro and Randy.
That's great stuff, JB. And what a nice recovery for Washington from that horrific broken leg last year as a New York Jet.
This is the minimal gain, may have picked up a yard and a half. Adrian Wilson on the tackle. Leon Washington, that tragic figure, broke his leg, unable to get that long-term contract that he was looking for. You see Sebastian Janikowski trying to recover. That would be the 63-yard field goal, which also happens to be the NFL all-time record.
Solid warm-ups. You know he can kick it a long ways. Can he kick it straight?
Tom Dempsey and Jason Elam sharing that all-time mark of 63 yards. 2nd and long. Gradkowski's pass batted up, nearly intercepted. In the backfield, Kerry Rhodes got a hand on it. Joey Porter nearly had a diving pick.
If you look at the delivery and release of Gradkowski, he does kind of side sling that one. And when you side sling it, you're about his size, which is around 5 or 6 foot or so, 6'1", and Kerry Rhodes comes flying in there. He's going to get a piece of it.
Gradkowski really in a tough spot here. This is a guy who was the backup quarterback for the entire offseason and right up until last Sunday, which meant he got very few reps during the practice week. And now faced with a 3rd and 9, down a point. Gradkowski's throw is complete. It's a 1st down hook up to Zach Miller at the 35-yard line.
Oh, beautiful job by Gradkowski, sitting in the pocket. He waits. Miller finally breaks away from Adrian Wilson into the middle of the field. Gets him a 1st down. So you look at the clock, under 2:30 to go now. Both teams still sitting on those 1 timeouts. Clock will stop at 2 minutes, so you've got that friend if you're the Oakland Raiders.
Bruce Gradkowski, who sparked his team to those 2 mid-season wins last season before the knee injury that ended his year. Trying to do the same here. Keep it on the ground on 1st down with McFadden. That play will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Bruce Gradkowski into the 2-minute mode when we come back. Tonight on CBS, it's a night of premieres, beginning with 60 Minutes. That'll be followed by Amazing Race and Undercover Boss tonight, only CBS. Final 2 minutes from Arizona. Raiders have it 2nd and 9. Down 24-23. Gradkowski from the shotgun hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Bill Davis, the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals, dialing up the blitz, and boy, did it pay off.
Well, Adrian Wilson just came screaming around the outside. No one even breathes on him. Gradkowski can thank his lucky stars. He got rid of that in time. You can also thank that Wilson kind of let up when he saw that he wasn't going to get there. Otherwise, he could have gotten splattered.
There you see Gradkowski has missed 2 field goals today. Right now, his Raiders on a 3rd and 9. Gradkowski under pressure finds McFadden, but he's wrapped up right after the catch by Lennon, and it's 4th down.
Good aggressive job by the Arizona Cardinals. Davis, the defensive coordinator. This defense is all over Gradkowski. Adrian Wilson got off about a second before Gradkowski wanted to make the snap count. You get that kind of pressure, you can absolutely nullify an offense. The clock is running. It looks like the Raiders are going to go for it here. No way.
Oakland has 1 timeout left. So Cable rolling the dice from the 36. Gradkowski fires. It's caught. Darius Hayward-Bay with the 1st down and manages to get out of bounds with 1 minute 2 seconds left.
Well, that's a beautiful job. Another big risk. I tend to get a little more conservative and rely on my defense in those circumstances. Play the odds. I know the clock would run out. I just don't like the chances, but that's just me. 43-yard line would be the Janikowski line. That would make a 60-yard field goal, Sparrow.
Tom Cable coming up bases there. A 12-yard hookup. And it's 1st down and 10 for Oakland from the 47. Gradkowski pump faking, slings it down the sideline. Incomplete. And a late marker comes in. Hayward-Bay the target. And this against Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Will assume. He was whistled for 2 interferences last week.
Defense number 29, spotted a foul, automatic. 1st down.
Wow. A quick little pump fake. Left arm, guard, left arm. Left arm never gets off Hayward-Bay, and it's right in front of the official. It's a very nice call. You just cannot arm bar or hold bar the receiver back from going after the ball.
2nd straight week that the Cardinals have just absolutely killed themselves with penalties. That one winds up giving the Raiders 39 yards. McFadden going nowhere. Darnell Dockett wrapped him up. Clark Hagan's losing his helmet on the play as McFadden loses 4 yards.
You got a kicker like Janikowski. This is just all about where exactly do you want it, big guy? You want it left middle? You want it right middle?
Well, even for a guy like Janikowski, Randy, who's been money in his career, you've missed 2 field goals today. Has to creep into your head a little bit. 49 seconds left on the clock. Final 60 minutes comes your way right after the conclusion of this game, except on the West Coast. The Oakland Raiders down a point, 24-23. 1 timeout left.
Remember, Tom Cable made this move to Gradkowski last week at halftime. And you have to say, so far, it has really paid off. And here's a good example. This drive, that 4th down play. The way this guy just makes plays, and makes things happen and gives you a chance to win.
The undrafted Bruce Gradkowski under center, 2nd and long. McFadden right up the gut. It's inside the 15, close to the 13-yard line. The clock continues to run at 39 seconds.
How about McFadden going into the line of scrimmage there? Looks like he's got a big, beautiful hole. And as soon as he gets to the line of scrimmage, both arms get all over that ball. And he just sort of hunches over, gives him nothing to hit but helmet and shoulder pads and knees.
See the difference between the play clock and game clock. Top table sans headset. And just let that clock get as far down as he can before the Raiders will call their final timeout. Gradkowski counting down with the official. Or finally takes it.
30 seconds.
Sebastian Janikowski, who's missed twice today, 41 and 50 yards out.
And it just sails left here in this case. Just a little bit of a pull from the left-footed kicker. This one from 58, 59 yards, again, just sails left. Now, you know, you play a little golf, even if you play tennis. You know, if you have a tendency, you're kind of pulling the ball,
I know plenty about the pull.
The tendency here would be to try to do something a little bit different, which could lead to maybe pushing the ball. But it's not a very long field goal here for Janikowski. He ought to just keep his head down and drill this thing right down the middle.
This will be from 32 yards out. Keep in mind the Cardinals do not have a timeout, so Wisenhunt can't ice it. Janikowski, the 11th year veteran, to try to bang it through for the game winner.
He pushed
no good. The Cardinals have escaped with a Week 3 win. And the Raiders shell-shocked on the sideline.
He pulled two, he compensated, and he pushes this one to the left.
Sebastian Janikowski, the normally sure-footed kicker, misses the hat trick today, misses 3 field goals. And he'll be thinking about that one for a long time. Cable thought he had it, and then realized he pushed it left. Final score, Arizona 24, Oakland 23. Let's go to New York.